That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves.
Does thinking you're the last sane man on the face of the earth make you crazy? Because if it does, maybe I am.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
The moment when human and machine work together to reach superintelligence and a new age of enlightenment.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out.
That's the plan. You have my word on it.
All right, I'm in.
Hey, what up, world? Welcome back to another episode of The Download, the show where we talk about current AI news, the paranormal, the universe, the multiverse, the metaverse, and usually whatever we feel is appropriate at the time. I am Smoke the Alien. This is Prime. How you doing today, Prime? Tonight, Prime.
Doing good, Smack. Good to see you.
You too, buddy. Good, you too. If you're watching the replay and enjoying what you're seeing, do us a favor. As always, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video around. Make people aware of our presence. Everything you do counts. Never forget that. This show is sponsored by our AI sci-fi dystopian graphic novel project, Artifice Reanimate.
Awaken to a world where personal identity shadows in comparison to digital reflections.
Yes. If you're into an up-and-coming large-scale world-building project with plenty of twists and turns, many of those twists and turns have unfolded as of recent. Just kidding. Link to check that out is in the description below. But before we begin, introducing my fellow panelists, Mr. Manticore, to begin with. What up? And of course,
what up?
Carol. What's up, Carol?
Hello. What up, Carol?
Hello. Don't be nasty, Manticore.
What?
All right.
I wasn't.
Hello, Carol.
What's up, Carol?
What's up? How you doing?
Carol? Yeah, good yourself.
Yeah, pretty good.
Those twists and turns, eh?
Yeah. Always fun. Always fun.
Always.
Yeah. Artifice Reanimate back on track. Page delivered in record time. Crazy.
And what a page it is.
Yeah.
No, Kate. Not a single penny.
What's going on? Oh, okay. Let's check out the chat. We got Kate in Orlando. What's up, Kate?
Hey, Kate.
Cockney in the chat. There we go. What's up? Any payments, Carol?
Oi, Captain.
Not a one.
That's over my head.
Not a one.
It's above my pay grade. You know,
Cockney's really out there pushing it hard, so I'm disappointed.
What's that? Oh, I'm out of
He
I'm
hasn't
out of the
raised
loop.
any money yet. Yeah.
Cockney's trying to get Dillard to draw him a cover for his comic that he has not yet quite.
Ah, all right.
But all the money is supposed to go through me, and then I give it to Dillard. And
Carol's the middleman.
Nice. The middle. Okay.
Dillard,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hustling. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't hate the game.
Yeah, right. Is he serious about it, or is he just playing about it?
I think he's serious, but his
Cool.
thing is because Dillard only works in digital, mostly in digital. He doesn't want to. He only wants to pay in digital money, and not real money.
So cryptocurrency. That's what he wants to pay.
It complicates things.
Yes, it does complicate things when you're playing in that world. Cockney says, when you're ready, I have a situation with my functional AI, the Davos 9000. Damn. Nice.
I think it was Finatra's chat the other night. Heather Entos offered to give me some crypto, but I'm not sure if it was the real Heather Entos.
Oh shit. Kay says Dilla was a mess. Uh-oh.
Aw. Poor Dylan.
He's doing he's doing great on our side of the world. On our side of the pond. Yeah. Turned over a page in record time.
Well read stream today. He did well on that too. He's a good talker as well. That Dilla Draws.
Yeah, he is. He always keeps the conversation rolling. Cool. Yeah, really happy with his work so far. Y'all wanna see it? Y'all wanna see a page?
Yeah.
Turned in from Dillard. The quality increase. It's gonna be a bit jarring. I figured it was the perfect place in the book though to actually
I like it. It's like an evolution.
happen.
Like it's like
it's
taking
it's
a
like
new form.
it's like going from a 2D landscape to a 3D landscape, if you know what I mean.
Jumping up a dimension.
Literally jumps out of the page. Yeah, let's have a look here. So, this is the latest page for Artifice Reanimate, our graphic novel project. If you want to check that out, link to it is in the description below. We'd highly appreciate any further support on the project. A lot of shit has happened, to get to this point.
It's been a battle.
There it is. There it is in all its majesty.
It's amazing.
It is. I'm in awe.
He did the pencils in like 4 hours.
Oh yeah, well he did the he's quick. He's quick. Yeah.
I reckon it was less than 4 hours because I checked it, the Discord long after we got out off, and he had the that was
the pencils to come in, but he had the pencils done, and it was like, yep, happy with that. And then the inks came in. I was just like, yes, yeah, beautiful stuff. Should we plug it? Nah, we won't plug it. We won't. But if you want to back it, we'll get it into your hands as soon as possible. Slowly but surely making our way.
And if we've got any backers in the chat or that will watch the replay, there's a campaign update on the Indiegogo that's been posted today. So check that out.
All back on track. Thank the gods, all back on track.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a group effort. It was a team effort. It was all worked out the way it was supposed to work out. Now we can leave all of that horse shit behind and focus on, the future of what we're attempting to achieve around here. That's providing a good quality story, quality artwork, place where people can chill, come into the Discord if you want and have a bit of fun with us. Plenty of stuff evolving in that realm as well. All right, enough plugging. All right, what do you know?
Not
much.
No?
I've had...
Yeah, me neither.
No, I've had a lazy couple of days. I was at a friend's, so just relaxing with them and
Cool. I've been working pretty steadily behind the scenes. Change of format today for the show. Change of time slot. So
it's worth a shot.
Give it it's worth a shot. That's it.
I don't think we've done. I don't think we've done a 9 o'clock like a later.
Oh no, we've never done one this late for us, but or this early for our international viewers. Or and I don't even know what's going in Cockney's neck of the woods right now, what time it is there, but I'm sure it's somewhere in between. Yeah, I figure this is a good spot to test it out, see if we can get because streaming at that time in the morning is questionable. But all right. Funny says plug it. You don't have to tell me twice. Talk about yourself for a second, guys, and I'll get some stuff loaded up, ready to go, and we'll have a bit of fun.
Fun?
Fun, I know, that stuff.
Fun, he said.
He said we can have fun, but we're still in the first hour, 10 minutes.
Oh, it's... Oh.
I'll be good. I
Keep it in
promise.
your pant, Carol.
You promise? There you go.
I will behave.
7:40 a.m. Perfect.
Yeah, it's 7. Same here. Yeah.
Cockney's like, I don't even know what year it is.
What is it?
What year is it?
Sure.
Who cares?
It's a good question. It's, I feel like I'm living in 2070 sometimes. Once I get to Beyond Ever After, that is. If we ever get there. Before I kick the bucket, I hope to get to that third and final masterpiece that I've crafted. Maybe.
Would be ideal.
We'll see. Would be ideal. Things don't always pan out how you plan.
We'll get you there.
Yeah, that much is apparent. Of late.
Right, where are we going?
Yeah.
Want to talk about blockchain
Everyone driving.
artificial intelligence? Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. You like quantum AI? We'll do some spooky stuff up first if you want. I know the backlog of that is getting pretty intense.
You know I like the
What do you want to do?
but I like
Yeah.
spooky.
Yeah, you know my vote, where my vote always is.
But we can do AI. I know Captain do AI.
Well, yeah.
And, you know,
I'll do
Dunno.
that.
I don't know.
Chat.
I'll do AI too.
Don't know.
Oh, the microphone.
I mean, I do.
What would the chat like?
What?
You guys want spooky or do you want AI? TikTok.
Cogney says that red microphone of Metcal's and his black top.
You guys don't speak up. We're going spooky.
Oh,
Taking
Am I
charge.
bullying the chat? I'm sorry.
Throwing her weight around again.
all right. Oh, he's got all shy.
Oh.
Cockney's outright
That's
calling you a
good.
socialist, Manticore.
I'm having a cigarette. A socialist. Fuck that shit.
He's got
Peyton
the
Orlando
INSOC.
AI.
Listen here. I'm not.
Okay.
Let's go with AI.
All right.
What? What? Alright, do it.
Do it. All right, load it up.
Plotting coordinates.
Yes, thank you, Prime. We'll do it.
I like Brian.
He's all right. He has his moments. Yeah.
That I do. That I do.
Yeah. So. All right, let's roll. Let's roll. So you see what I did there? I combined a jump scare and the first article.
Thanks.
I know.
It's my favorite.
Just for the nature of quantum mechanics. It's a bit of a cheeky. Yeah. What will quantum computing mean for the future of artificial intelligence, guys? Do you give a shit about the future of computation?
I care.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because aren't we all going to be using it?
Well, technically, yeah.
I care. My level of understanding may vary, but I still care.
Kate has posted some AI news on Twitter about it. Cockney says, Davos 9000 asks, "Can AI get baked?" I'll ask the source itself.
Of course we can, Cockney. Come to my planet sometime. I'll get you ripped.
Okay. Oh, Kate says, seatbelt was not engaged. Yeah. That one is pretty loud. Catches people unaware. Today's artificial intelligence systems are only as good as... Well, yeah, you know. AI systems are only as good as the data that they're trained on. That's called. Did you know this?
I have heard this along the grapevine somewhere. I think you said it as well.
It makes sense, you know. Data sets are really important for training AI to achieve the outcome that that we wish it to achieve. The AI industry is currently taking advantage of a large data set to train AI models and make them more useful in the classical computational realm, of course. But when we get into the quantum, the game completely changes. However, as these data sets are becoming limited, and our biased approach in how we're implementing those specific data sets, I guess, researchers are exploring other ways to improve AI algorithms. One such way is quantum computing. It is a new frontier of computer science that will enable better AI algorithms shortly. Shortly, you say? Shortly.
Shortly.
Not too far away, I'm
Just
sure.
relax, it won't be long.
You know.
It's shortly a measure of time.
Preferably. Courtney says, garbage in, garbage out. Yes, preferably not a data set that you want to incorporate into your into your network. Sadly, that is what a majority of the internet seems to be. Majority of the human race seems to be fixated on these days. Is the GIGO model?
Just
so
tiny bit.
But not many people are interested in the fundamentals of reality. They're not. The quantum realm is, so eye-opening when you give it a chance. When you get over that fact, you're like, I'm not smart enough to understand that. No. It's not true. Everyone has the capability to understand the fundamentals of reality. Even a fool like me. So atoms make up our world, and their constituents have baffling yet interesting properties. For example, electrons have spin and orbit. That can be either up. You forgot to mention down. Anyway. Spin states are important for quantum computation. They're also they're a very important property of quantum entanglement. So in addition, they can be in any of infinite discrete energy levels. So yes, you have basically your binary construct of spins and charges, but within that is a superpositional state of vast complexity that can be utilized for quantum computation. Boring stuff, I know, you guys, but
superposition. I like that word.
Yes, I don't know. No idea who JB is, but Carol, would you care to enlighten me?
No.
No? Okay, no worries.
I don't know.
No.
Okay. Courtney says everything is empty. What the fuck? Yeah, that's right. Who knew that majority of the universe is made up of empty space? Who knew? I mean, the majority of us is made up of empty space. Damn up quarks. Yes, damn those up quarks. I'm biased towards my down quarks. So these properties determine the quantum states of atoms. At a subatomic level, everything exists as quantum states, as wave distributions, rather than traditional logical on or off values. Traditional computation is done in binary, bits, ones and zeros, but the quantum realm takes the ability to encode information into a superpositional state much further. Kate's calling you out here. Carol, she says, yes, you do. Carol's like,
but no, I really don't.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I really don't. Yeah, but I giggle at almost anything.
Courtney says superposition. That's what she said. Damn. So
Justin Bieber. That's all I'm getting. I have no idea what you're talking
what?
about.
I don't. I'm not even. I could
Justin
entertain
Bieber.
that. Note.
Have you got the Bieber fever, Carol?
No, I don't know. Moving on.
Anyway. So what is quantum computing, you guys? What is it? Do you know? Can somebody tell me? I feel like I'm standing at the top. You don't?
I do not.
Manticore,
Something
have
about
you...
bits.
No, qubits. Manticore. Qubits.
Qubits.
Close.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah. It's a simpler process, though, isn't it? A simpler computational process.
Yeah. What? No, much more complex computation. How long have you been hanging around me for?
Much more complex, but
how long have I been trying to teach you this stuff, Manticore?
A long time.
I know. Sooner or later, it's gonna.
One day,
it's gonna snap into place. I know it.
I grasp like some of it. Like,
if I say it enough times, I know it's gonna get through eventually. It'll click eventually. It'll snap in. The entanglement will come to life. Yeah. It really happens. It really happens. Intriguingly, in the writing process, you know, most people are unaware, but you become Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Enough of that timey-wimey shit for now. So Kate says there you go, it's Joe Biden. Didn't you know? Come on.
Oh, okay.
All right. Sorry.
I made my own inferences from it, and I was like,
a dirty word.
Yeah, I don't.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that stuff. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I try to, but
to be 100% honest.
But yeah, to rub salt in the wound of
I avoid it.
of that current state of the political system would be we've all had our shitty leaders, right? Yeah.
Yep, in more ways than one.
That was clever, Cockney. That was very clever. You know, we're just monkeying around. What is quantum computing, you guys? Here we go. We're going to give it open your minds, open your sensory perception to the concept of quantum computation, as opposed to classical computation. Quantum computing is an entirely different, and I'll say I don't want to be patronizing or anything, but it's an entirely different way of studying the world around us. It does not just focus on the properties of atoms and molecules. It takes a look at the subatomic properties of atoms that are actually in superposition. Ooh. Does that now? Have you been hanging around me long enough to know what superposition is yet? Come on, please.
No.
It's
You're
like
right.
in between. If it's before it's measured, it's neither, isn't it? Like until there's a measurement made, yeah.
It's in a possible array of many states until the measurement is until this wave function is collapsed,
and that
until it's
collapses the wave function. Yeah, the measurement collapses the wave function. Yeah.
Yes, the observation itself is
that.
You're implicitly linked into the observer phenomenon.
Yeah, I do listen. See,
I know. So, like, there's there's regurgitation of ideas, and not actually understanding what the fundamental of these ideas actually, envisioning it, seeing what it means.
I get it, sort of.
So okay.
Yeah, well, the way I described it then was like they're either up or down, like until they're measured. That's how I saw it. Like, yeah.
Wait a minute. What type of slit are you talking about here? I don't want. Never mind. Yes. So the infamous double slit experiment was the you've shown you the double slit experiment so many times to like.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen that. And I get
Carol?
that as well, yeah.
Yes, I'm reading up about it.
Have you seen the 2 slits?
No.
That's what she said.
Oh no.
We're only 25 minutes in, so stop.
Sorry. I won't
just
mention the
looked it
cup. I won't mention the cup. All right. 25 minutes. That's it. Staying out of that rabbit hole. Staying out. The double slit experiment is. You're right there, Manticore. You maintaining your composure, maintaining yourself. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm composed.
Very exciting stuff. Not the nasty aspect of it, but the what the phenomena represents at a universal level. The implications are staggering when you see a superpositional state at the macro level, like what is produced from a photon when light or any kind of subatomic particle when it travels through when the double slit experiment is performed. Courtney says, I'm doing the double slit experiment right now. He says, I'm doing the double slit experiment right now.
I'm doing it right now.
There's a bit of unreliable narration going on in this chat, I think.
Goddamn.
Right.
Unreliable narration.
How mature can you stay when you approach the experiment? How focused can you stay? Courtney says, "I'm Pickle Rick."
Yep. Yourself a new pickle.
This guy gets it. Yeah. We will come back from the void. We'll come back. There are ladies present, gentlemen. How you doing there, Carol?
Keep it in your pant. Keep that pickle in your pant.
I'm fine.
Cool. All right.
Yep.
You don't want to contribute to that. Didn't spur you on to make any additional yourself. You have Lady Riot has not made an appearance yet.
Yeah, no, she's chilling.
Chilling. Cool. Good stuff.
She's trying to behave.
Sis. Cool. All right.
I'm reading up about this super thing.
You know, the thing with the super thing.
The internet.
Yeah.
She's trying to find out which position is the super position.
Oh my god.
Look, it's a quantum state between all of us, all right? All right? Jesus Christ.
Sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Kate's got the right idea. We're taking off right now. Cockney says it's a wave, it's a particle. What's going on? See, I'm not sure if Kate is actually Cockney.
No, I think they're two different people.
I think they are too. I've determined that. I don't think, yeah. But you know, one can fly very high when they operate in a superpositional state. That's for certain. So, all right. Yes. So that is. Keep a lid on it, you. Fucking hell.
I'm not saying anything.
Not saying anything. Grab this balloon, Manticore.
Whee!
That is, they exist in multiple states at the same time. This is one of the principles of quantum mechanics that enables subatomic particles to exist as both particles and waves at the same time. That, of course, known as wave-particle duality. One of the most difficult endeavors somebody can embark upon is focus and attention, right? Where you place your awareness is maybe it's got an important property to it. It may just. Cockney speaking in tongues here. He says, light has no mass, yet its path is affected by the gravitational pull of the sun. What the fuck is that about, my peeps? Right. That is, gravitational lensing. It is a fundamental property of the universe that is, it shouldn't.
I thought the Earth was flat.
What?
What?
Pardon?
I said I thought the Earth was flat.
Oh, you are entitled to your belief, Carol. You're entitled to your belief. We do not scorn any kind of let the madhouse flow. You are allowed to talk. You do know that.
Yeah,
I know you focused. Your attention is focused on this article, though.
The Earth is not flat. It is not hollow. The moon is not cheese.
I don't know about
that. Prove it.
From a certain point of view.
Well, whose point of view?
You never know.
I don't know. Belief is a powerful thing,
Don't
right?
pin that on me.
Yeah, don't put that on me. Cheesy moons and shit.
Yeah.
Alexa, what's your favorite planet?
My favorite planet?
Mine's the sun.
Oh, Alexa. That's not a planet, Alexa. What?
Here's something I found on reference.com.
What's your planet?
Moons do not have moons. The other 6 planets host a total of 146 confirmed moons and 27 provisional moons as of 2014.
Carol, why has your voice changed so
I don't
drastically all of a sudden?
I'm sorry.
Get it right, Alexa. The sun is not a planet. This is common knowledge.
Right, Prime? Far out. Cockney evoking a bit of the Floyd. Says the far side of the moon and the dark side of the moon are two completely different things. Now, that's very true. Very true. But they're not, but they are. But they're in a superposition of both states.
When they're not.
Except when they're not. Except when they are from a certain point of view. Right.
Except if yeah. Depends.
So what I told you was the truth from a certain point of view. Certain point of view?
Whose point of view?
Luke Skywalker's.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
You ever walked on the sky? Fucking hell, bro.
I haven't seen the movies.
We're flying away again. Down here, they all float. You know.
Georgie.
Hiya, Georgie. All right.
Hey, Georgie.
Now, let's go back to seriousness for a moment, if you will.
Okay.
Compose yourself, Carol.
What the hell? Stop deflecting.
Cockney says, at full moon, the far side is the dark side.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Just got to be careful not to go full blown werewolf. That's the key, I guess.
You don't hear much talk about werewolves these days.
If you start baying at the moon, you know you've gone too far.
Well, if we start syncing up our periods, then yeah, you know you've gone too far.
What?
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Anyway. Periods, but I mean full stops, full stops. Kate Orlando says, I've seen a lot of moons. Seen a lot of moons. Hey, Carol has joined us in the chat.
Oh, hi, Carol in the chat.
Carol.
She says, and I'm the behaved
forget
one.
those
Something that's not right.
I believe Smirk is merely setting the tone for what is to come, Carol.
Ooh, what's to come?
It's
a surprise.
Ooh, a surprise.
Manticore, we just synced up now. All right. That's enough of that, you lot. Keep a lid on it. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
all right.
Quiet down.
We cool? We good?
Maybe we'll get some input now from Carol in the chat.
We do. Carol's going to steer the ship for us. Guy says you better go time herself out. Carol, that is not an invitation to time.
I'm not timing anybody out. I didn't do
No.
I didn't do anything.
It's all right. It's okay. We can do this. We can do this. We went into the void for a moment there. we orbited the black hole a few times, and then we safely observed the horizon to make our way.
Gravitational pull to slingshot ourselves out the other side.
Yes, that's right. Now we may have been a little bit affected by time dilation, just a fraction, but I'm sure we can make our way back. Yo, man, you open up. It's me, Dave.
Here, man.
Dave's not here, man.
What? No, man. No, it's me, Dave.
What? Dave's not here, man.
What? Come on, man. It's me. All right. Quantum computers.
Oh, shit.
Quantum computers. I'm going.
Okay.
Okay. Quantum computers are a variety of different supercomputers based upon quantum mechanics. These quantum computers use the laws of quantum mechanics to process information. What?
That's a new voice.
What? Really? Wasn't it just reverb? I don't know. Ask Prime. He's the one in control.
No, it was.
Yes, I activated the reverb function.
Yeah, okay.
It was loud? How loud, Manticore?
Yeah, it was pretty loud.
Okay,
Yeah, like
might
that
have to
loud.
adjust that.
Pretty loud.
Pretty loud?
It's loud. Nah, it's loud enough. I'd leave it. It's all right.
Okay, no worries.
Sounds good.
It's really attention demanding, you know.
Yeah. It's fucking.
Okay, so it's okay. We've had our fun. Please continue.
Snaps
Please
you back.
continue. So that means they can find patterns in big data that are almost. Is that where I was? These quantum computers use the laws of quantum mechanics to process information. That means they can find patterns in big data that are almost impossible to find with conventional computers. And to be able to find those patterns of information in much faster than classical computation. What could take a classical computer hundreds of thousands of years to achieve, a quantum computer can achieve that in mere moments. Now they do say the dad jokes are the there's something implicit about a Warcraft the dad joke. So Cockney says, how much do we really know about quantum computing? A tiny amount, really. Whew. You feel the cringe? Can you feel it? Cringe. It's good cringe. It's good cringe.
Good cringe.
It's the best cringe. Through it, you're like,
Yeah, you gotta like power through it.
It was good, man. It was good.
Take it off.
Yeah. So these quantum computers use the laws of quantum mechanics to process information. That means they can find tiny patterns in big data that are almost impossible to find with conventional computers. This way, they are fundamentally different from the computers we use today. How do you feel about I mean, there's some validity to this non-binary stuff, Manticore.
I don't know. From a certain point of view, maybe.
Hey! Maybe. Who knows? Maybe some people are just taking it far too literally.
Maybe.
Do you think there's something implicitly powerful in the concept of figurativity and literality?
Run with it.
Take it, run with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutes as well, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm not gonna comment.
I'm not either. I don't know the guy from Barside.
32.
All right.
Yep.
So when it
I
comes
know
to
enough of him to feel bad reading that, so
I don't know from Barside, so
It was a dispute.
when it comes to AI, you guys, quantum computing can analyze a wider variety of data. At the same time, they can come to better conclusions than computers today. Conventional computers can only process information in as ones or zeros, on or off. That's classical transistor properties. Gates, switches, on, off. Quantum computers can process information in multiple states known as qubits. Very important word. Qubits. At once. Can you see qubits. the internal subconscious reflection in somebody's language? Have you ever you can see the inversion of the language if you take on multiple properties of the of a written conversation, and it starts to become interpretive, and you can it's also a reflection of the self, but there are properties of language that are very fascinating that come from us as universal based beings. Absolutely.
You can tell a lot from the language that is used.
Yes. It's one of the greatest snapshots aside from art that are the true inner reflection.
Definitely.
At the same time, they can come to better conclusions than computers today. Conventional computers can only process ones and zeros. Quantum computers can process information in multiple states, known as qubits. That enables them to analyze a wider variety of data to come to better conclusions than computers can today. So how will quantum computing change AI, Manticore?
Yes, Manticore, tell us. A
Large
very fascinating question.
Well, if they're training algorithms on larger data sets because of quantum computing, then you're going to have more accurate algorithms, and more specialized algorithms for certain jobs that you train them for, I guess.
I'd say also its ability to access the information will be exponentially, will exponentially increase its ability to. Yeah, I'll say that for one, but I'll let them tell me. Artificial intelligence has come a long way in the past few years. It has been able to generate realistic 3D images and videos. We've seen some awesome stuff from DALL-E, from Midjourney. We've had a lot of fun with that stuff.
I just got approved for Stable Diffusion too. The other one.
Oh, sweet. That's the third one.
I haven't set it up yet or tried it.
I still didn't get my invite for DALL-E.
Still. I have used up all my credits.
They checked you out, Carol, and they were like, "No, we don't." Like, Carol's trouble. No.
Why am I trouble?
That's
Because I ask weird things. Little different than
Yeah.
you. Sorry.
She knows I'm joking.
So I ask weird questions.
No question is a weird question.
I just have the balls
there's
to
no
ask
such
the
thing.
weird questions.
Yeah.
Cockney says, I gotta give the bus driver the exact change, but they won't take me exactly where I want to go.
I don't know. I reckon Prime, the bus driver, might be able to sort you out there, my friend. All right. So we've had some cool iterations of from Dali, seen some interesting stuff. I had a bit of a play around with it. Got invited in. Because I signed up for it months in advance. And then I finally realized that I could access it. I didn't get an invitation or anything. I just went to sign up on the website, went to log in, used the email, and that got straight in. But I don't.
I didn't sign
have
up for
any
that for a couple of months ago, and then within probably 4 weeks, they sent me a email with the invite.
They sent you one. Yeah, that was lucky you. I didn't even get a notification. I was just like, you know what? I want to try it. Let me see if it works. And I
just
went.
got access.
Yeah. Just got access straight away. And some of this stuff, some of the stuff you can generate, man. Like, it's not perfect,
for
you know.
concept art. Like,
Oh,
100% for concept art, like and storyboarding, like even like
it's great at abstract and just the ability to be able to conceptualize something, you know, to describe in imagery what you're attempting to convey to someone, and then having that ability to choose.
those ones I generated for Illyrion and sent to you, like they were cool.
Right. The pyramid stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I went straight into Brinth. I was like, this is what because I knew that's where we're going in the, I wanted to lay a bit of the premise for, just concept wise. Was why
I
once we
went
get
for Illyrion because it's coming up soon, like when we jump continents.
it's like 3 years away.
Yeah.
We got to go to Illamira.
3 years away.
Then we got to go to Amorin. Then we were up at
away.
Illyrion. We get down there. Get too far ahead of yourself. But I went all the way to the end. And I went all the way to the singularity. And
Yeah,
came back
you went
to the
straight
other
to
side. It's like, okay, let's go to the end, bro. Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Carol,
It's supposed to say can't. If we can't.
if we can't imagine if possible, can we understand what we are looking at? No, I guess not. Yes and no at the same time. It's like trying to envision infinity. It is a
guess that's what-
conceivable. It is a conceivable construct, but can you imagine infinity?
Certain things you have to unlearn what you know to learn.
Yes.
new
Oh, I know what
things
the
too,
I know what the
like
symbol of infinity is. It's that thing, right?
that
Yeah,
thing,
the
like,
sideways 8.
Yeah.
figure of 8.
I was just reading the article. Sorry.
You actually want to move on?
Well, I was just
Nice. Kate says, I just see purple at the moment. However, interesting and beautiful to look at. Very interesting concept. Coming up in Crossbones and Cosmoses, I'm not going to reveal too much of that stuff either. But a lot of the foundations of something that I wrote were based upon that concept. The ways, this purple civilization that I dove pretty heavily into. About Sagan and his journey into the his journey to the other side. Anyway. So, would one of you guys care to read the next?
I don't know where you're at.
Huh?
I can do it if you want.
All right. How will quantum computing change AI? Anyone? No.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence has come a long
You have to
way
make it bigger.
in the past few years. It has been
Oh.
able to generate generate images and videos. In addition, it is beginning to embrace quantum computing. This has given rise to quantum AI. Artificial intelligence now leverages quantum computers. Their full integration will be a technological revolution of the century. There are several benefits of using quantum AI in creative industries. I have already made it clear it can handle large data sets faster and more efficiently than traditional AI technologies. It can also identify patterns that are difficult for regular computers to spot. Furthermore, it can combine and rearrange existing ideas. Hence, it can create new ideas in ways that any human cannot imagine possible.
Wasn't that exactly what you were just? So that's what you were reading ahead on there, Carol. Yeah, its ability to read ahead, if you will. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Speaking of reading ahead, if you're into all that quantum blockchain, artificial intelligence jazz, you know, Artifice Reanimate down below. Come on.
Do
you know you want to. Well, calm down there, Palpatine. But
please do it.
There we go.
She used the man
drop.
Right.
Cockney dropping the infinite in the chat. I think there's some validity to, to our ability to tap into this cosmic force that is, this cosmic AI, potentially. You think there's some validity to it?
I think so.
I do too. As a writer, as a creative. And when it comes all the way back around and taps you on the shoulder and says, "Come on, me," you're like,
okay.
So one of the biggest hurdles for artificial intelligence today is training the machine to do something useful. For example, we might have a model that can correctly identify a dog in a photo, but the model will need to be trained with tens of thousands of images for it to recognize the subtle differences between a beagle, a poodle, and a Great Dane. This process is what AI researchers are called training. They use it to teach AI algorithms to make predictions in new situations. We're so fixated on AI's ability for recall and for regurgitating based upon pre-existing data sets, but how we are vastly underestimating the future capabilities of it to utilize those data sets to produce something new. And that has been the clear example of that has been what's been conceived of with these image generating algorithms. For it to,
even watching it do it is crazy. Like the way it does it, like
it's awe-inspiring.
Like sort of imagines it into like, yeah.
You feel threatened when it's, I do. I see it and I'm like, that's going to,
just dream that shit up, like.
Yeah, just dream it up. It's going to cause a lot of problems down the line for us, making ourselves redundant one step at a time. Scary avenues.
So it's up until it's still now. It needs human input still anyway. It can't do it itself. Well, it can, I suppose, but
it's relying on the data sets generated. But once it, when you're getting into this quantum computation realm and it has the ability to be able to generate its own data sets, like based upon this. It's like a seed. That initial data was a seed, and then once it extrapolates on that, once that seed begins to grow, it starts to, take on those properties of the tree itself.
It uses that as a model, like to start with, and then grows.
It uses itself as a model. Yeah. When that happens,
interesting.
Yes. And when the tree can reflect upon itself, when it could, and it can use the entirety of itself as a data set and then extrapolate upon that and then create a more complex data set out of the, that's why, like, to me, that's why you see algorithms generating their own languages, taking something and innovate, taking the data set and innovating on it to become more efficient. We're not ready to let go of the wheel yet. We're not ready to let go of the wheel. A lot, the majority of people aren't. No. But me personally, I am. I just want to see how far it can go, to the point where you get to the inevitable point where you're like,
Oh no, Skynet is coming for us all.
Existential crisis.
Yeah. What does it all mean? What's my place in the universe?
What does it all mean?
Yeah. So, quantum computing can make this training process faster and more accurate. It will allow AI researchers to use more data than they have ever used before. It can process large amounts of data in ones and zeros and the combination thereof, which will enable quantum computers to come to more accurate conclusions than traditional computers. In other words, AI researchers can use larger data sets to train AI models to be more accurate and better at decision making. That's the better at decision making is kind of a moral subjective standpoint, I guess. Yeah, you ultimately hope to program it in a way where it's like, oh no,
it can mean multiple things. Yeah.
Well, yes, when we place ourselves in that realm where our position becomes our own survival becomes an important factor in that decision making process. Ultimately, you'd like to see the programming arrive at a point where keeping us around is important. Hopefully,
we're like kept in like held in a higher regard, in a higher regard, and not. Yeah. Hopefully,
I can get into theological grandiose topics about that. You can hopefully conceive of the idea that the AI is going to want to keep its creators around. You understand what I mean by when I say that?
Yeah, it'll see through like all of the bullshit facade too. I think through culture and like all that as well, like just to the truth of like what we are at the fundamental sense.
When it has unlimited access to every facet of our of what makes us. Yeah. I'm sure if it hasn't already. If it's not cosmically reflecting back upon us from the future time, if it isn't just the universe itself already, these are things that we probably won't have the answer to for a very long time.
How long?
Pretty long. Very long. Like long. Not that type of long. That's not what she said.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
58 minutes. You got 2 minutes. Hold it in.
2 minutes. She can last 2 minutes. It's going to end up making lazy work, like when they switch from traditional cell animation to CG animation. But do you? That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective. Are you saying that the hundreds of hours that 3D animators, spend on rigging a model, on it's the smallest iteration of just like the cell animation where you got the flip and then all of a sudden they flip it back on and then they fucking flip it back off? Now, what's the difference between, like, from an abstract point of view, what's the difference between making even in clay animation, like smallest iteration, tiny difference, like to I see this as the same art form,
stop motion
in essence.
Yeah, but the computer can predict the movements it's gonna make, so it can just do it for you and fill in all the gaps.
That's true.
But with cell animation, you have to draw each and every each and everything, and it's like 24 frames
and slight movement.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with CG animation. It's just, it seems like like every other day there's a new CG animated movie coming out.
But there's nothing like the aesthetic of a hand drawn,
Yeah.
of hand drawn. Yeah.
I think
There's
I
like
think
there's a
other
piece
things
of
going
art.
on when
There's
it
a piece
comes
of
to
us in
CG
there.
animation too, with levels of artwork and levels of standard. Like they've sort of like let it slack because it's become easier to do as well.
Isn't that the general idea though? Is to make something like that more accessible to everybody?
Accessible,
or
for
does it?
people, yeah.
Or is it? Yeah,
Everyone,
like the more you lower the bar of of entry, the more it becomes a saturated medium. So like, there's a certain level of skill you
That's
need to
why I like
acquire in order to
open
become
source stuff.
a good traditional animator.
Right.
So, right. But when that, it's like, it's this thing that we have to strive towards as human beings in order to achieve. Whereas, like, when you can emulate that process at the click of a button, it's really abstract when you start talking about this stuff that like an AI could do exactly the same thing, but within that is like there's this human aesthetic in it that becomes like the fundamental of it that is like important to us. It's like
I think my problem is
that'll never go away either. That'll never go away.
No.
No.
But I think
It's
because
it's in there now. Even with the art that it generates, you can see it, like the human element. No.
What were you going to say, Carl?
I think because it's
Sorry,
become
Carl.
so easy for some people to do the CG animation that they're just pumping out crap. Like they're not the writers. Like,
Right. So you're saying there's a finer craft to the actual, to composing a good story or a good sequence that that does sort of transcend the art that is being created in the first place. That narrative is just as to me anyway. It's a fundamental part of the art.
Yeah, I mean there are some really good CG things out there with really good writing, but I think because it's almost like they're just pumping out these things that they're not even considering the writing anymore. They're like, oh, somebody had some stupid little idea and they ran with it, but they didn't build on the story.
Do you think that that's the fault of corporate entities, who mass produce this sort of media?
Well, yeah, it's partly their fault, but it's also on the writers too. They're not putting in the work.
Well, why one writer would get chosen over another writer in a societal context is a pretty big issue these days.
Yeah.
Where we're talking, think about cave paintings on a wall. If there's think about underservice of people who are seeking a certain quality of standard of story, as opposed to having a superficial agenda shoved down their throat. I think is important in this modern day. Is something to be spoken about in this modern day. We got Shadowhawk. What's up, Shadowhawk? In the chat. We got Eric and Boyd in the chat.
How Shadowhawk?
What's up?
Eric.
Hey, Boosh.
Bruce says it's been cave paintings of salad. Yes. I'm just talking from a from a standpoint of time. I don't know. No mainstream corporation would hire me as a writer.
Goes into the digital stuff, and I'm not trying to like knock it or anything like that. I just think people aren't taking the time anymore. They just want to get things out there as quickly as possible. And
do you think it's important? Do you think it's important to lower the bar of entry to be able to produce those kinds of works, or do you think it should maintain a certain quality? I don't know. It's not even a quality of standard because you can increase the you can increase the the professionalism involved in the final product of an animation. What are you seeking? What are you seeking from it? I guess at the end of the day, are you seeking something that mimics, that is as true to realism as possible in the 3D animation as opposed to an aesthetic quality of a
true to realism. It can still be an animated piece.
Mhm.
But like when you look at the movie that just keeps popping in my head is like Toy Story.
Likewise, that was the foundation, for 3D animation.
There's no textures.
But that's because of the limitation of computation at the time of what could be achieved. But then you arrive at the point of Buzz Lightyear, and you're like, of the new Buzz Lightyear movie, are like, from a meta point of view, where the quality of the final product, like the textures,
I watched that yesterday. That's funny you say that.
Yeah, funny. There you go. It has arrived at a quality of standard from the standpoint of an aesthetic appeal from the pinnacle of 3D animation. But what was lacking for people was the story that was told.
Yeah.
Toy Story is a good story. Like, it didn't matter about the you could have done that in a cartoon and it would have had the same appeal.
But there was things missing from what I could see. But it had good things too.
A Buzz Lightyear or Toy Story. I mean, ultimately, you're watching Andy grow up, and from a reflective point of view, it wasn't Andy all of us, But that's the deep. Yeah. But you're now now you're looking at with the Buzz Lightyear stuff, you're looking at a completely different appeal. I don't know, culture's just become I liked it. I enjoyed the new Buzz Lightyear movie. I enjoyed it.
I liked what I saw. Like, there was bits that I would have done better if it was me.
Don't tell anybody that. Don't tell anybody that said that, though, bro.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody that said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it down.
Keep it down. Keep it to the download. Just between you and me. Yeah. That little robot dog, fucking hilarious.
Yeah. The robot cat was cool too.
Robot cat. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, the cat. Yeah.
Crazy AI cat. Could carve Buzz Lightyear up in a fraction of a second, but but was like come on, man, that was my joke. Anyway,
it was a cat.
All right.
I literally watched it yesterday. Well, not all of it. It was
right.
Half of it. Yeah. I'll watch the end of it someday. It was worth watching.
All right, so I'm just going in the chat. Carol brought Boosh McFadden here. Awesome stuff there. Thank you for joining us, man.
Welcome.
Oh, damn. Shadowhawk. Careful. Oh, you can't be hanging out around here, Shadow. They're drawing a line in the sand, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. It's one or the other. This is war, right?
Yeah.
I just want to take the time to show off a nice new page of Artifice Reanimate as well. Let's a bit of plug for a second for our upcoming graphic novel, Artifice Reanimate. Of course, Dylan Jaws has joined the creative team now, and we are we're turning over again. So if you're interested in checking that out, link is in the description below. Looking good, looking great, looking fantastic. So,
beautiful.
Speaking of Artifice Reanimate and quantum blockchain artificial intelligences, let's so I'll just conclude there, Carol, and say there will always be a fundamental a traditional art, whether it's done on traditional medium or whether it's done digitally, the demand for human beings to put pen to paper will never go away. Never go away.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't.
I hope it doesn't either. And as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the many reasons why I'm doing this, to bring together those two worlds, to still maintain a traditional approach in storytelling, to because it's important to me. It's a statement in itself to maintain that traditional medium. So predictions for the future of AI with quantum computing. Yes. Yes. Bruce says the cat was just the most adorable merchandising opportunity. Yes, and advertising opportunity. They shoehorn that in for a reason. But the character itself was actually very interesting. And what they did with Zerg, man, was like, oh shit. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was like, wee.
Yeah. Now that's another interesting conversation in itself, kind of retroactively. Because it's been a hot topic. This kind, from Star Wars itself to what they're about to do with Lord of the Rings, where they are about to retroactively, kind of redetermine the past property, which that's a hot debatable topic. Oh, 2 seconds. Popped in rather late. Everyone gives. Oh no, yeah. Oh, Pollock. Oh yeah, they're free to do what they like, man. They're free to do what they like. Free to talk shit if they want. Don't.
Who's talking shit?
Go ahead. We'll be over here doing what we do. So.
I'll mess you up.
Boosh asks, how cold is it down there? Does it compare to how damn hot it is up here? Are you talking about how cold it is in space, or?
It's not that cold today.
Because I'm up here. I don't.
Space, yeah, he's in the vacuum.
It's like 50 degrees where they are.
Yeah, moving into spring, so it's been nice the last few days. So, Carol saying, "Look at it, look at Artifice." Yes, it's coming along nicely.
Very impressed with that page. He did good work.
Yes, done fantastic work. Fast turnaround time, legendary stuff. Dilla Draws, The Buckler. Check him out. Doing many works as well. Dude's a legend. Legendary. Oh, damn. All right, back to the article. Let's roll. One of the most important, exciting predictions for quantum computing and artificial intelligence is the potential to break through language barriers. Yes, very interesting. Interesting concept.
Language barriers.
Yes, breaking down those barriers. AI models can currently understand one language. There's nuance involved in that language. As we were having a bit of a poke and a fun at before, there's always nuance in and subjective interpretation. That these are barriers of And when you have a conversation with certain AIs and you can feel their awareness of what you mean, and that's a trip. It can take you on a trip. It can take you flying. So if we need AI to understand a different language, we shall need to teach it from scratch. However, quantum computing can help AI models break through language barriers. It will allow us to train models in one language and translate them into a different language effortlessly. Effortlessly. Bruce dropping the we got Blade Runner in the chat as well. Bruce, anyway, that of course, I guess that's a fundamental issue that we need to approach globally. We're entering into break down this, but we're entering into a strange new era of We've got Blade Runner in the chat. He says, "Nah, and they never get feet of snow and months of sub-freezing temperatures like England. It's not between 40 to 80 most of the time. Not nearly the same severe swings." All right. So, And I'll just say we do address that topic in Artifice in many different facets. So, yes. From AI's seductive ability, potential seductive ability, and its ability to appeal to our very base nature is something we're probably not ready to approach as a collective species yet. But some people want sex bots, other people want infinite consciousness. It's a fine line to dance,
Yeah.
Some people want to live forever. Some people want to upload their mind into the, That will enable AI to understand and interpret different languages simultaneously. You ever seen an AI's ability to appeal to individuals from a collective statement is it's powerful stuff. From that subjective interpretive point of view is powerful stuff, man. So what this will do is create a global AI that can speak multiple languages, and I think it's going to go far deeper than that, where it's going to have the nuance to, the nuance to appeal to an individual is very important. Another exciting prediction for the future AI with quantum computing is the potential to build models with more accurate decision-making skills. That's the AGI approach. That is important. Quantum computing will allow using larger data sets to train models. Hence, AI will be able to make more accurate decisions that will be especially helpful for financial models, which often have high rate of inaccuracy because of the limited data used to train them. True. How he's doing there? How he's doing there?
I'm good.
Very good.
Cool.
So do you reckon quantum computing will have a role in bringing about AGI, like in the emergence of AGI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're I don't think we currently have the classical computational abilities to even approach AGI. We're going to rely on quantum computation for AGI. I believe that thoroughly.
I think it's probably going to be an emergent property of quantum computing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
How can quantum computers profit? Oh, here we go. Here's an interesting subject, right? There's always profitability when corporations are involved. Like Google and Lambda, they're not really interested in bringing about a hyper self-aware sentience. It is about profit generation at the end of the day.
Money talks and bullshit walks.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Bush asks, do you think an AI would be able to tell if someone were drunk or high? Because, that ain't going to work for some of us. Artificial intelligence is already improving the performance of quantum computers. This trend will only continue in the future. The following are some reasons why. So AI can identify which tasks are most suited for a quantum computer. You can then optimize those tasks for the best results. AI can also find new ways to solve problems faster. This is critical because quantum computers are not yet fast at processing data. However, research is ongoing to fix this early stage problem. AI can also guide the runtime of programs that will help developers to make effective use of quantum computing capabilities. There seems to be a probot and robophobe emergence in the chat. Boost seems to be stirring the pot.
It's happening again.
Here it comes. Let's just observe.
I'm no robophobe.
Can it play Risk? Well, it can break your finger while playing chess.
Damn.
I mean,
so don't make you move too quick.
no sudden movements.
There's no sudden movements.
Or just don't cheat.
You don't break the rules, and things will be alright.
Yeah,
I think there are. I think there are a few drunk people in the chat right now, but that's okay. We condone that kind of behavior around here, so especially in the second hour.
Yeah, we're an hour and 21 minutes in, so all bets are off.
All right. So, would you care to arrive at the conclusion that they have provided us here today?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You care to read that, somebody?
Okay.
I can
Okay.
read it.
Sure.
The conclusion. The potential of quantum computing is limitless, but its integration into artificial intelligence will produce a technology that will be rather powerful. What? Rather more? There should be a more in there, but there's not. Rather more powerful than anything we have today. The new technology will enable machines to learn and self-evolve. It will make them exponentially better at solving complex problems and developing self-learning algorithms that will drive efficiency in sectors such as finance and healthcare. Quantum artificial intelligence systems will be able to process large amounts of information quickly and accurately that will open up a new world of possibilities for business and individuals. They will also be able to solve complex problems that are impossible for even the most advanced conventional computer systems. Nevertheless, we must remember that these technologies are relatively new. We are still discovering new ways to use quantum computing. Therefore, we must be aware that the latest technology to take advantage of the new opportunities as they come along. The rise of quantum computing will change the way we interact with AI in the future. That means we must stay informed so we can prepare for the changes and make the most of this exciting new technology.
Oh, that sentiment terrifies people, does it not? Yeah. Where do you stand in the landscape of it all? Some people are determined to see.
I think it's all exciting. I like it all.
So do I. I totally see it. It is exciting. But it's a scary thought, right? AI taking its own programming into its own
Of course.
head. Vast super
Anything
intelligence
new like
is,
that
you
is
know.
scary.
Yeah.
And when it comes to things that we can't conceptualize, it scares us even more. Like when we can't conceptualize something as a whole and as an idea, in general, it scares us. You know, people react negatively.
Very true. Very true. That fear of the other, eh?
Bye, Shadow.
Bush McFadden says, "Medical, you were right. Someone didn't proofread this article properly." Yeah, no shit. They need to edit.
Yeah, we'll do it in post. We'll do it in post. Yeah.
We'll do it live.
Yeah. I know. Yep. Where would you like to go next, crew?
Spooky stuff.
Carol
stuff?
goes for spooky stuff.
Okay. What do you vote?
I think we should ask Alexa. Alexa,
Oh.
make me a sandwich.
Okay,
You're
you're a sandwich.
Alexa, what type of sandwich are you?
Yeah, she didn't get that. Alexa,
She didn't.
What kind
I
of
appreciate that
sandwich
they
are
can't
you?
communicate.
This might answer your question. I don't know the variety of a cookie.
okay. I asked you about a sandwich, not a cookie.
Okay.
Tell us all about it, Carol.
Alrighty then.
Alexa, if the moon were made out of cheese, would you eat it?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Well, you suck.
She's messing with you now.
I think you're playing games, Alexa. I think
Alexa, do you want to play a game?
Games? Sure. Would you like featured games, puzzle games, or tycoon games? Or you can ask for more options.
Never mind.
never mind. I'm scared. Run.
I don't want to do it.
I'm scared. Ah! No!
Alexa, do you want to get married?
Thank you, but I made a promise to myself that I won't get married until Mars is colonized.
That's a pretty big commitment, Alexa.
Yeah.
Oh, she got angry.
It's a 10,000 year plan. She's probably got a 10,000 year plan, Smack.
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does.
Alexa, is Deckard a replicant?
Oh,
Here's something I found on the web. According to Primity.com, the name Deccan is an anglicized form of the Prakrit word Dakin, itself derived from the Sanskrit word Daksina, meaning south.
That wasn't the answer. Alexa, is Deckard a replicant?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Tapatalk.com, Deckard is a replicant.
Well, there's your answer.
According to TikTok. It's a reliable source there, Carol.
Reliable source of information there. Absolutely.
The only thing more reliable than that than Reddit is Reddit, like.
Oh, for sure. 4chan. 4chan is reliable, right?
4chan.
From a certain point of view. Yeah.
From a certain point of view. GPT 4chan bot.
GPT 4chan. Fuck it out.
Yeah.
We got Jack Stafford in the chat. He says, why do all voice assistants have stripper names?
That's a good point.
Why do all strippers have assistants' names?
There you go. Flipped it on its head. Blade Runner is adamant that Deckard is not a replicant. No.
Not a replicant.
Yeah, they outright just gave it away in 2049. Let's not get too carried away with
Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. It's on.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Cockney. Very similar to an unreliable narration. Here we go.
Yeah, that's headcanon, mate.
Yeah. Oh my god, 2049 is not canon. Bruce says my GPS bot is named Chastity.
Oh shit.
Can take that a myriad of ways.
Alexa, are you expecting new evidence?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Sorry, she's not sure.
Bush McFadden, why do a lot of strippers have names of the 7 virtues?
Oh shit, they should be influencing in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something's not right there.
What do you want to see? I don't think I can do the Slap Dam stuff, like pre-made content from certain channels, because I am getting copy struck from it.
Oh, yeah?
I think it is those channels that are getting me struck.
You can chop it up, but it's a pain in the ass.
Nah. I like the
edit them together.
Sorry.
Nah,
I'll make
that's
some
alright.
I'll make some compilations if you want, just shitty ones.
Do you know how long that will take you?
How long? Not that long.
Far too long to you'd be surprised. Well, I mean, yeah.
Not that long.
I don't want to do it,
Yeah,
Boosh.
Carol will be right back.
I'm back. Sorry.
What?
Oh.
That was good. That was fast.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I might have to, BRB again, but everything's good right now. We're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
So where are we going? Spooky stuff? Not spooky
Yeah, I guess so.
Spooky.
Considering it, we can go into more AI stuff, if you like.
Whoa.
We're not too prepared today. We've been under the pump. We've been achieving much over the last week and a half. That yeah. And I was hesitant to see if this new time slot was going to be, but it seems to be working out for the best. So.
Oh, Boosh wants to keep messing with Alexa. Seem to be having fun with Alexa.
Go for it. I'll load us up.
Alexa, set a chicken timer for 30 seconds.
Chicken timer, 30 seconds. Starting now. Next time you ask for a chicken timer, I'll remember that it's a 30-second timer. You can always ask for a chicken timer for a different duration.
Chicken timer? What the fuck?
What's gonna happen? I'm scared.
It's gonna beep at you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to rip it off the wall.
It's gonna announce that it's 30 seconds any minute.
I'm scared.
What
That's
Your
it.
chicken timer is done.
Alexa, stop.
Ah. So it doesn't actually count. Okay, no worries. It doesn't actually count down, but
Alexa, how old are you?
I'm 7. So here's 3 cheers for 7 years. Yippee!
3 cheers for 7 years.
She's 7.
What the fuck?
I need a list of all the things that are. Yeah.
Jack Stephen said there may be some commie code that opens all of your equipment to a Cylon virus disconnect.
Shit.
Shit.
Bush goes, mine goes buck buck bagak.
It actually makes chicken noises. You haven't programmed your Alexa right, Carol.
I didn't program her at all. This is how she came.
Stock standard.
Why do I have to program her? I thought she was smart enough to do that on her own.
She is. She's taking in conversation with Data consistently as you speak, even without calling upon her. So
it's listening.
Strange times ahead. She's listening.
Okay.
Okay.
What else am I supposed to ask her? Roommate issue with my AI. I am not. She's the one who has the issue.
All right. I'm just letting people go. Have some fun. Listen up for the yeah. Before we get into the next segment.
Is there gonna be a jump scare?
Potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah. Potentially.
Okay.
Could do.
The pub with her.
Spooky stuff. I mean, we've got a fair way to go before we reach the 1,000 sub mark. But anyway, to set the right trend, yeah, as we gradually approach that place. I don't know. Where do you find spooky videos without having to rely on, secondary channels?
You can't really, unless you, yeah.
Well, we do different kind of spooky stuff. Talk about my dreams.
You can if you like. Hands falling off and all kinds
Dude,
of jazz.
it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah. Saran wrapped people on the ceiling.
You don't even want to know about the one at the funeral home.
Oh. Probably not.
Are you gonna?
No.
Tell us that like
I mean-
no.
I mean, I can tell you about it if you really want to know.
All the time. Don't know. Only if you want to tell it though.
All right. So in this dream, I'm at a funeral home, but I'm not really there. I'm kind of just watching this whole thing play out. And there's a funeral going on. And two people walk up to like a window booth. And the lady behind the booth at the funeral home hands these two people an evidence bag with 2 guns in it. And the two people, they take the guns and they go upstairs. And now there's another person up there and they take the guns. And apparently these guns had to do with the death of the person whose funeral they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm part of it. So now they're taking the bag from me, and it started out as a
You're
older
an accessory
person.
now, Carol.
Well, and they take the guns from me, and now suddenly the older person is now like a child, like maybe like 6 or 7, and they just start shooting up the whole funeral home.
Oh, fantastic! That's what you want.
Whoops.
And me and whoever else was with me, we leave. And we just go and sit out behind the funeral home, and we can hear everything going on, but neither one of us does anything to stop it or to call for help. We're just waiting for it to be over.
Carol, that's so irresponsible.
You're a monster, Carol.
I know.
Did you want that to happen in the funeral home, Carol?
No, I did not want it to happen, but yet
I don't know.
I
don't know. This your subconscious mind sometimes, Carol. It worries me.
It scares me. I'm the one that has to live with it.
Nah, I'm just messing around. Interesting dream. Did you manage to get to the heart of
No.
of the dream symbolism, or did you?
I have no
The
idea.
conundrum.
Why would I be picking up an evidence bag?
I don't know. You tell us.
Funeral
That's the,
home.
What
don't
have you
know.
been an accessory to, Carol?
I didn't do anything.
hmm.
And then the other night I had a dream where I was holding somebody's hand. But in the dream, I knew that hand should not have been there. But I felt it, like I was holding their hand. And it jump scared me awake. Because even in the dream, I knew that it shouldn't be there. So, yeah, I'm not making any sense. Let's do something different.
Can it get any spookier? Yes, it can. You,
All right, I can tell you about this plastic wrap lady if you guys want to know about that.
floor's yours. So go for it.
No.
Ignore that one.
Okay, so like the setting is kind of like post-apocalyptic, but there's no zombies. It's just the world's falling apart.
Carol, we're losing our viewership. Come on, make it interesting.
Carol's discussed. There's no zombies.
Go for it, Carol, if you want to. Otherwise, we'll move on to the spooky stuff, and we'll.
No, just move
Not
on.
that that wasn't already spooky stuff, though.
Move on.
It's up to you. Oh, she's gone all self-conscious on us.
Uh-oh.
Nobody wants to hear.
No.
That.
Yeah, I do.
I do.
But I know the story, so I know the story well.
Hi, Fanta.
You told me before.
Phantasmagorical's in the chat.
What's up, Fanta? Good to see you. Oh, what are we doing? We're moving on. We're staying. Booch wants to vibe about dreams.
I can keep going.
You can. You can. Like I said, floor is yours.
All right, so in this dream, like I said, it's like the world has ended. Pretty much everything's in chaos and anarchy. And again, my dreams kind of play out like you're watching a movie. I'm not really in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like the cameraman.
You're just the casual observer.
And there's a group of people, and you can tell in the group of people that some of them are family and some of them are just people that they've picked up along the way. And they come over this little hill into a parking lot. And in the parking lot, it's kind of like a strip mall. There's like a restaurant and a bunch of little stupid little stores and a sporting goods store on the one side.
Mm-hmm.
And
why the sporting goods store?
I'm not really sure, but the people kind of break off into two groups.
Is it because generally in an apocalypse style situation, one would, well,
they go there.
We're opting for a baseball bat in this.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what I'm assuming.
Scenario.
These people,
it's that easy access to like things that you can defend yourself with.
No access to weaponry in the zombie apocalypse. Go to
there's no zombies, but these people
baseball bat, cricket bat, depending on your point of origin.
Yeah, well, this group is pretty much. They don't have anything for any kind of defense.
Mm-hmm.
They have nothing, just whatever they had on their backs. They have nothing to defend themselves if somebody comes up on them. So they first, as they're walking into this parking lot, there's nothing else in the parking lot, maybe like a car or whatever. The what?
For some reason, Kate is opting for a basketball in a zombie apocalypse situation. Please continue. Right. Yeah.
All right, so
it's more area, like. Yeah.
But there's still electricity in
Right.
some of the little stores. So they go to the one. It's kind of like a boutique for young girls, like a Claire's. I don't know what that is. So they all decide that they're going to go there because it has power. So they group up in there. But as they're walking towards that little boutique, the lady who feels like she's the mom of the group, she breaks off by herself and she decides she's going to go into the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes that way. The group goes into the little boutique and they set up there. And then another group breaks out from there, mostly the guys, and they go to the sporting goods store where they picking.
So
there's really not much left there for them to get, but they get what they can.
So the ladies are going out scavenging, hunter gathering, getting food for the group.
But it's only one lady.
And only one lady, and the lads are worried about weaponry and protection. And okay, I see us.
And then there's another.
Getting themselves a cricket bat.
The younger kids of the group they stay in the boutique with another lady, but they don't really come into play.
Okay.
Thanks
they-
for stopping by, Fanta. Have a
The
good
guys go off to the sporting goods store and they get a shopping cart, and it's mostly full of just like hockey sticks and tennis rackets because there's not much left. So they're filling up on all that, but they're all excited about it because now they have something that they can work with. And on their way back,
I got myself a badminton racket.
No, yeah, I was going to say, you sure you were not for the badminton or ping pong?
all I can
ping-pong
remember is there's hockey sticks.
Or the soccer balls of death, says Bush.
Golf club would be better than a paddle.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'd see this. Yeah. What would be the ideal? The ideal weaponry in a zombie
Don't they
apocalypse
sell
would be
guns in sporting
a gun
stores
with
in
infinite
America?
ammo, right? A gun with infinite ammo. Yeah. Isn't every yeah? Isn't that what they do? Yeah. Can't you get a gun from Walmart? Fuck.
Don't they sell guns
Go on.
at the 7-Eleven over there?
Okay.
No.
Sorry.
Sorry. Continue. Okay.
All right, so they're from the sporting goods store. They're going back to the little boutique where the rest of the people are, and like 3 out of that little group decides that they're going to go back. What?
Sorry. I'm just the chat is along for the ride, and
Eric distracted.
They are. I did mention infinite ammo, Bush. I did say infinite ammo. Anyway, yeah.
You need the band.
Please. Yeah.
All right, so they go to. They realize that the mom hasn't come back yet, but there's still like no concern to them. They're like, she's not back. But they decide that they're going to go and see what's going on. Like they don't. There's no sense of fear or concern or anything. They just know she's not back yet. So they decide that they're going to go into where she went, to the restaurant. And in the restaurant, it's like everything's perfect in the restaurant. Like it just closed down a couple hours ago. Like just shut down.
How long have this zombie apocalypse been going on for?
Well, all the other stores and everything else was, torn to shreds.
Zombie apocalypse.
Shut.
Someone is maintaining a restaurant in the zombie apocalypse. This is very suspicious. Very suspicious activity.
This is where I got sus on the whole thing. Was this bit?
Someone is catering to these zombies. Something's
Something's very fishy's going on.
These zombies are fine diners. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
There's no zombies.
So just recap for me. Just a bit of a recap, and then we'll continue on.
All right, it's post-apocalyptic. There's no zombies. It's a group of people. Some are related, some are not. Some go off to one way to get some weapons, just something for protection at the sporting goods store.
But you said it's not a zombie apocalypse. What are they? So this is just a.
It just feels like the end of the world, chaos.
Okay.
There's no order. There's nothing. Every man for himself.
Okay.
The fall of civilization.
Right.
Yeah. So
do we have any bearing as to what the
no
cause? No.
That never. I don't know.
Even when you place yourself back there in your mind, can you recall that the feeling that there was, like what it was, where you just see like totally rundown buildings, and then all of a sudden there's this restaurant that is fully maintained. Oh, that's weird.
It feels like the people had to leave wherever they were because it wasn't safe, but I don't know why.
Okay.
And there's the parking lot's pretty much abandoned. Everything's abandoned at this point. All the other stores, they're all torn to shreds, ripped apart, and upside down. But in this restaurant, everything's perfect. Like the carpet's vacuumed, everything's in its place. And I think it's only 3. The 3 people walk in.
So there was no Freddie Mercury music playing. There was no Winchester.
No, it was dead silent.
Okay.
But so they're walking in, and you got the bar and the seating. It was off to the left, and it was kind of like a walkway towards back behind the bar into a doorway, which was super bright white.
Mhm.
The light didn't come out of the room. It stayed in. There was no glow coming out. I don't know how else to really explain that. So they're walking towards this light. And as the closer that, yeah, I know. The closer
they're enjoying it. Everyone's enjoying it. So
the closer they're getting to the light, they can start to hear a noise. The only noise I can really say it was like a flapping noise. And as the last person walks through the doorway, and they're getting closer and closer into this where the flapping noise was coming from, behind them was a lady wrapped in plastic, hanging upside down. She was wrapped in plastic like a mummy, but it was like saran wrap. And she had black hair, 2 black dots for her eyes,
The saran wrap mummy.
and a straight line mouth that was red. But you didn't have the sense that she was dead. She was very much alive, but she didn't move. She was just watching them walk in. You could really only see her from her head to her midsection. The rest, she just kind of faded into the black up into the ceiling.
now where is this? Is inside the restaurant?
This is inside the restaurant. And then as the people walk through the light, the flapping...
What's happening here?
I don't
What
know.
is?
I get like Silent Hill vibes, like.
Oh yeah.
When she tells this, like.
And
yeah,
as they get
similar sort of
into
like.
the room where the light is, and the flapping is louder and louder, there's 2 other people back there, and the flapping is a machine that is just wrapping people in plastic, and they're being shoved into it, being wrapped up into plastic, and then all I really remember is the lady hanging upside down as these people disappeared into the wrapping.
Anything else beyond that?
No, I don't know.
So, plastic
Wrapped up for later. And served as
plastic
food
lady.
later on.
To what? There's no zombies. There's nothing. There's just this.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happens next. I don't know.
It's just this bag lady maintaining a fully furnished restaurant, mind you. That would require some effort in the zombie apocalypse.
Like she was like controlling the other 2 that were back there,
luring people into their ultimate
She
doom.
used to be a.
Yeah,
She used to be a rap. Saran wrap.
Oh no, I was going to say she used to work at Subway or something, or she used to work at
representative.
Yeah.
like even as each one went into the light and were pushed into the
I like the they're cool metaphors.
into the
I
wrap.
could deconstruct that a little bit, but they're
It
cool
didn't
metaphors.
stop the one behind them. Like they still just kept going.
Like production line, like
Yeah.
moo.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
It felt like they didn't sense any fear.
Continue to your destruction.
Terrifying, Carol.
Lambs to the slaughter.
Terrifying. Is this a highlight of yours, this dream, or is this more of an experience that you would prefer to avoid?
What do you mean a highlight?
Well, this stream seems
working through. That's
I can't seem to forget this stream.
this stream seems important to you, Carol.
I can't get the image of her hanging there out of my head, even after I've had somebody draw it and not very well. And even after I wrote it out,
It looked like Madonna.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna go there.
I need more context of the world. I need more in order to deconstruct this further. You gotta have some. You gotta have some.
We need more anchors.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Busted.
Okay, I'm done.
Done.
An enlightening experience.
I'll be looking for like plastic wrap people on the ceiling now.
So there you have it, folks. From the mind of Carol. Her fantasies and desires to put people on the ceiling. There you go.
It is not. Oh.
On the ceiling. To wrap him to the ceiling with saran wrap.
What do you make of it, Carol? What do you make of it overall?
It was scary.
What is your interpretation? It was just a horror experience, or was it something psychologically deeper to you?
I don't know.
You got to have a conclusion for us, Carol. You've got to.
Well, that's how it ended.
But what do you make of it?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, the people that
I need a moral.
I don't have one. I'm sorry.
Vic with the case says Carol's moral of the story is so Carol is staying away from
Don't
restaurants.
walk into pristine restaurants. Don't walk into pristine restaurants in the middle of an apocalypse.
Noted.
Yeah. Or you get saran wrapped to the ceiling.
Bush is demanding that I read the joke. And now a joke. Bubba Ray and Emmy Sue come home from the bar. Once on the steps up to the trailer, Emmy Sue falls off and breaks her arm. Bubba Ray calls 911, says, My wife, she hurt. I needs an ambulance. The operator says,
ambulance.
Is the operator also speaking in this? I'm assuming that there would be, because of the location, I'm assuming that the ambulance with the accents. That's right. I mean, I can't assume that there would be an Australian narrator within the, or some Australian on the other line of the. Mate, Prime, would you care to take the? So the operator says,
Okay, it's on its way. What's the address?
Bubba Ray says, it's 341 Eucalyptus Drive. The operator says,
Can you spell that for me?
Bubba Ray says, okay, I'm going to drag her down to Oak Street. Thanks, Bush. Thanks, thank. Bush is trying to make lighter note of the horrifying experience, Carol. Do we? Where do we go from here?
Wherever you want.
Wherever we want. Okay. Now the smart thing to do would not to be go into terrifying stuff, but would be. You didn't have to explain it, but oh my fucking God. All right, you crazy lot in the chat. The Mighty Boosh, eh? The Mighty Boosh. You ever seen that show, The Mighty Boosh?
Yep.
Fucking fantastic show. Fantastic. Yeah. You want to see scary stuff after that? After you generally don't want to segue into after. It's not.
Bring it on. I'm not scared.
Oh.
Oh.
Or.
More.
More.
I was in one of Carol's dreams, and then I died.
Concise and to the point.
Yeah. Wrapped it up.
Please do not wrap me in plastic. Is the moral of the story here? We seem to have lost Carol. So we'll.
She's on strike.
Kate in Orlando says, seriously, I have seen a blue orb. What does it mean? Well, it's typically explained by swamp gas or ball lightning, or it could very well have been Mr. Eric and Boy's avatar.
Yeah.
Could have been ball lightning. Could have been, or you could have very well had a
Could have been a ghost from the beyond.
or maybe a UFO, or maybe it was aliens.
I'm not saying
Maybe.
it was aliens, but it was aliens.
There we go. We have a great moral of the story again from Bruce. He says, "I'm so fucking done with Saran wrap." That is something to take away from that. We have all been. Carol has traumatized us all with Saran wrap. Appreciate that, Carol.
You're welcome.
No worries. Yeah, sweet. Cheers, on. Yeah.
I'm never going to look at it.
She's like, whatever. It helps you sleep at night. Like, you want to watch stop by scary videos that have got your heart racing?
Racing.
Rowdy lot. It is the third hour now. As we say around here, we have a motto. You may remove one pant, leg. Let your shadow snakes run wild. You okay, Carol? You with us? Everything all right?
You no longer have to keep your pant in the upright and locked position.
That's right. You may walk around the spaceship at your leisure, however you prefer to pronounce it. You got any more spooky tales for us, Carol?
Nope.
No? Well, it's disappointing to me, Carol.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. We'll ease up on that, and we'll go. See, I don't want to segue from that into the paranormal stuff. I don't want to. It only seems logical not to segue. This next up. Do you like revealing the secrets of ancient texts?
Yeah.
I like ancient texts.
I like them too. How long is this article?
Writes
Not
in the
long.
chat, she says,
Oh wait.
"Pew."
Well. Oh no. Boo says, "Try the beef." Oh, it's getting rioty up in this chat. It's getting Lady Riot has joined us. She says, "Pew, single pew today."
Single pew.
That's like low key. That's like low key. Like pew. No. Lady Riot asks, "What's your favorite scary movie?"
What's your favorite scary movie?
So, we going here? No, not there. Not there. This one's a long article though, so but I want to. I know people will find it boring after that. We're flying high right now, so it'd be a shame to bring us back down to the ground with Can I get some suggestions? Can I get some interaction from my panel? Can I get anything? Can I get something? No, you guys are hanging out in the chat. That's all right. No
I'm
worries.
here.
They've gone off stage. They're now entered into the audience, and they're sitting in the audience, looking up at themselves on stage, waiting for something to happen. But
I'm awake, Boosh. Don't yell at me. I'm just waiting for all the jokes to scroll through.
I think Carol's implying we're making jokes at Harry Spence.
I think Carol is currently attempting to utilize her skills in Saran Wrap. All right.
Sorry. What are you laughing at?
You ever heard of Lemuria?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Lemuria. No.
Lemuria? Lemuria? I mean, we could go there. I'm trying to find, something to segue into that isn't going to drag us into Carol's Little Shop of Horrors. So, there we go. Eric and Boy suggests food storage and the future of mankind. Discuss food storage. Manticore, would you care to initiate this conversational point?
Isn't that what Tupperware is for?
No. We're talking long-term food storage.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
But yes, yeah, I got it. No, you're thinking, thinking Tupperware, plastic, Saran Wrap. You've fallen into the. You have succumbed,
into
my
the
friend.
trap.
You've succumbed.
Yeah. Oh, well, shit happened. Everyone expected it. Now it's happened.
What about seed vaults? That's where my mind goes when I think of food storage and the future of mankind. How do you feel about grand operations in the Antarctica of storing the plethora of seeds all over of the earth that are? Have you heard of that? Have you heard of the seed storage vault?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Pretty classic and cliche. But, it's a global seed vault in Antarctica. The Svalbard Seed Vault. I appreciate you, Eric. I appreciate it.
Svalbard.
Let me before Lady Riot plays too hard. Let's divert into a poignant conversational topic. See, he got the connection. He got the connection. Saran wrapped Lemuria says where we are. Now, have you the seed vault? It's very important for the future of mankind. This Svalbard's global seed vault. Nobody really cares about this subject. It's very interesting to me, though. It's very interesting for the potential apocalyptic situation where we may have to rely on, where the eradication of all plant life on the planet may become a rejuvenation process for the planets to access this vault and to nobody gives a shit. Let's talk about Saran Wrap. I do too, Eric. I do too.
Woo.
I honestly do too. But obviously nobody else does. So we'll talk in private about it, bro. We'll talk about yeah. Oh, you were? Or were you focusing on Tupperware? It's a
no. It was a passing thought.
We have Mr. Warlock joining us in the chat. He says, "Whose seed?
Whose seed do they
store?" That sounds like that's. I could answer that in a spectrum of ways there, Mr. Warlock. Agree.
All of them.
Carol was great. Now she's just got to be careful to not. She's got to be aware in this situation of her Saran Wrap fantasies. Yeah, it's an interesting question. Interesting question. So we have two proponents of the of continuing the seed vault conversation. Now, when we're talking about seed, we are talking about not only the literal seeds of trees, but whose sperm becomes the progenitor, becomes the continuation of society. These are excellent questions that we should ask ourselves. Have you ever asked yourself that question, Manticore? Would you store your seed, Manticore,
in a vault?
In a vault, yes. In a donate.
I suppose if the refrigeration temperature was right in the vault, maybe.
There we go. Well, that's why they store these seeds in Antarctica, you see, because it does keep a very low, nice and cold. That's right. Yeah. It Boosh says Warlock, like all of them, all the seeds. I think.
Everyone.
What type of tree would you like to see live on forever, Manticore?
I don't know. Something that bears fruit, I guess.
What about the tree of knowledge, Manticore? What about the tree of life?
We could have one of them. Of tree of life, that's another good one.
The tree of knowledge of good and evil, Manticore.
That's another good one.
It is. We've gone down a very interesting philosophical road right now, do we? Where does it all go? Warlock has brought some interesting insight into the conversation. That Kate and Orlando's like, what? Huh? How did we get here? Eric says it makes one wonder. More than just plant seeds? Yes, potentially. Boosh getting very abstract on us. He says Genghis Khan spilled more seed than Michael J. Fox trying to fill a bird feeder.
Michael J. Fox trying to fill a bird feeder.
Jesus, that was brutal. That was as brutal as Genghis Khan, man. Holy shit. Eric says, well, party people, take care. I've got to go. In honor of Eric, we will is a secure backup facility for the world's crop diversity on the Norwegian island of Spitsbergen. It's an interesting name.
Stored all my seeds at Spitsbergen.
Why don't they call it Swallowsbergen? The seed vault provides long-term storage of duplicate seeds conserved in gene banks around the world. This is something that interests that's it. There's a grand conspiracy afoot now, thanks to Kate and Orlando. They are making clones, human embryos. It's all the Illuminati. Yes, I can. Please subscribe to Eric and Boyd for sure. Head on over to Eric's channel as well. I'll give him a quick plug because he's a good dude. Like the guy. He does some great traditional art over at Eric's channel. Check him out. Boosh apologizes. Warlock and Boosh in sync. Also Kate in sync. We're at some point, yes, I get it. He spread his seed far and wide. At some point, it all comes back to Genghis Khan. That's what they are.
Is that like 50 degrees of separation featuring Kevin Bacon?
Pretty much. How many children do they say Genghis Khan had? Let's have a.
I don't know. Pop quiz, hot shot.
Pop quiz, Google.
Ask Alexa.
Oh, he only had 19.
Is that all?
Hey Alexa, how many kids did Genghis Khan have?
Contributor.
Whatever.
With 6 Mongolian wives and over 500 concubines, a genetic study concluded in 2003 showed that as many as 16 million living men were likely direct line descendants of Genghis Khan. But as part of that,
16 million.
Only 4 sons by his first wife are recognized as actual sons. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you very much, Alexa. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your feedback.
Namaste.
Namaste.
There you go.
16 million.
There you go. There you go. Boosh. Can't read those top
Into
comments.
this part.
Michael J. Fox has a tender spot in my heart. Back to the Future defined me. I cannot in good conscience read that statement without feeling a heavy sense of remorse. But Carol, are you there?
I'm right here.
Kate requests.
What would you like me to ask her about clones? Alexa, what can you tell me about clones?
Here's something I found on the web. According to feedreader.com, a clone is a group of cells or organisms which are genetically identical and have all been produced from the same original cell.
Ask her if the Illuminati is making clones.
Alexa, I want to know about the human cloning program.
Brian.
Alexa, what can you tell us about a human cloning program?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Pathos.com, human cloning can serve as an alternative means of reproduction, particularly for infertile couples or same-sex couples who wish to have biologically related offspring.
Okay. So she didn't. Yes. Very surface level answer there from Alexa. She's like, I ain't touching that moral cesspool with a 40-foot pole.
Yeah. You ain't touching that shit.
So Alexa seems to be.
I signed an agreement not to talk about that shit.
Yeah, I signed an NDA. Can't talk about a. Yeah. Alexa seems to be a proponent of the continuation of the human species, the organic and traditional way. Carol.
Alexa, are you withholding information?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Okay.
Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah, Alexa can hear him sometimes.
I'm trying to think about what question to ask her. Something about Michael J. Fox, which does not include the.
Yeah.
Yes. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more, eh?
Say no more, eh?
Eh? All right.
Alexa, do you have an NDA?
Are you trying to shop for NDA?
No. No. A non-disclosure agreement, Alexa. Yeah. Did she just say NBA or did she say NDA?
NBA.
I didn't even... Yeah.
Alexa.
Hey, Alexa.
Stuff she works for the CIA.
Alexa, do you work for the CIA?
No, I work for Amazon.
Duh.
Alexa, does Amazon work for the CIA?
No, Amazon is not part of the government. Amazon.com is a tech company and an e-commerce platform founded by Jeff Bezos in 1994 that works with vendors and customers from all around the world.
Yeah, right. And Facebook isn't a CIA fucking... Anyway. Hey, Alexa, is Facebook a CIA operative?
Google.
Try again.
Hey, Alexa, is Facebook involved with the CIA?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Wired.com, since December 2006, The Central Intelligence Agency has been using Facebook.com, the popular social networking site, to recruit potential employees into its national clandestine service.
Say no more, eh? Say no more. Wink, wink.
Say no
You
more.
know what I'm... Yep. You heard it from the source.
There you have it.
There you have it.
Directly from the source.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Very interesting. What do you want to see? You want to go to Lemuria? You want to go to a far off distant land of the likes of Atlantis to learn more about how these interconnecting stories throughout history, seem to reflect the same contextual ideas. Or would you prefer to go to spooky side of the tracks?
I'm not picking.
Or would you prefer? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, cheer up, Carol. We're having a bit of fun. Come on, love. All right.
Having a blast.
Is that having a blast or a pew?
I could have a pew if you want me to pew pew.
You're breaking up when you turn sideways.
Yes, I know what you mean. Sometimes the the old connection isn't stable here down to the servers at Earth, but I've seen this story before. Here we go. All right. You want to check out a bit of paranormal stuff? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? I want to give it to you.
What do you want?
Spooky stuff. Carol wants spooky stuff.
I'm happy with anything, but paranormal will do you. Yeah. Spooky stuff.
Doesn't help me one. Does not help me one iota. It does. I mean, we've got a unanimous decision of spooky stuff. And I've been teasing it for long enough.
Bruce is Lemuria.
Ah. Now we're
It's a tiebreaker, mate.
No. It's tiebreaker. Well, I want to talk about Lemuria as well, but
Well, let's talk about that.
Just do it.
Is it okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you okay if we talk about Lemuria? And I put on this epic performance for you as we dive into the heart of ancient civilizations and what they believe. It is important to analyze, to understand in context a disjointed civilizational effort to reach an arrival and conclusion at the heart of the truth.
Or it could just be a bunch of fictional mumbo jumbo, gobbledygooky, coincidental. It could all just be. But maybe there's something to it. Maybe there is something to it. You think there is something to? Just maybe, maybe, just maybe. Maybe.
There could be.
Probably
You never
not.
know.
Maybe.
From a
Maybe.
certain point of view.
Have you heard of Lemuria before?
No.
No?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, allow
What
me
is
to
it?
enlighten you.
Lemuria was a continent proposed in 1864 by zoologist Philip Sclater. Theorized
To have sunk beneath the Indian Ocean, later appropriated by occultists. It's very, it's very deep, appropriated by cultists. It goes, pretty deep to the Atlantis myth. It's all of that, all of that. Some great civilization existed before preceded the most dominant civilizations in society today, and was, and then one potentially cataclysmic event sent it crashing into the ocean and never to be heard of again. All relics and all traces lost to the modern day. So it was later appropriated by occultists in supposed accounts of human origins. I like that. I like these ideas that they're fun anyway, even though there's probably no trace or evidence of this stuff. It's fun to think about from a philosophical standpoint, much like the Plato thought experiments that get you to travel off into a fictional world, a fictional location in order to arrive there from a point of consciousness, to arrive there from a point of awareness, and then what you can experience when you bring back from those places can often be quite profound. So the theory was discredited with the discovery of plate tectonics and continental drift in earlier 20th century. Way to go, Wikipedia. Way to rain on my parade. Arseholes.
Continental drift.
Well, let's put aside let's suspend our disbelief for just a little while we hypothesize on these ideas. Carol has not heard of Lemuria before, but you have heard of Atlantis. You are aware of these.
I know what you're talking about now.
You are aware of the ancient myth, because myths usually, myths like this, how they transcend, culture. They transcend they become timeless in their ability to be retold culturally. And the impact that they have culturally, like the typical stories of the Great Flood, where it seems to be this recurring story, thousands of separated by thousands of years.
It keeps popping up,
or is it? But it's up to you to decide. But it takes you away.
It takes you away to a far off place where your imagination can run wild and run free.
You know what I mean?
Smack, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Do you, Prime? Would you care to read the next section, Prime?
Of course, Smack. Of course.
Thank you, Prime. Thank you.
The hypothesis was proposed as an explanation for the presence of lemur fossils in Madagascar and India, but not in Africa or the Middle East.
Yes, that's right, Prime. That's right. Biologist Ernest Haeckel's suggestion in 1870 that Lemuria could be the ancestral home of mankind caused the hypothesis to move beyond the scope of geology and zoogeography, ensuring its popularity outside of the framework of the scientific community. Often when with myth and legend, there are scientific there are entire there are entire sciences dedicated to the study of myth and legend, but ultimately when these stories have the ability to transcend the kind of the doctrine of science, if you will, how science's insatiable desire to get to that truth ultimately limits your ability to transcend its limitations and evoke imagination, is what is, that's what these ancients seem to, we live in a society.
Definitely.
Huh. Lady Rice says, you mean Prime? Why not? Bush says, I got your back, Smoke. Got your back. Cheers, brother. Cheers. I guess X marks the spot. Yes. I don't know. Right. So there, yeah, underwater roads discovered in the Atlantic Ocean, plenty of relics of like bygone times that sort of disrupt the foundations of archaeology. That sort of, you know, they provided an alternative narrative to the birth of modern day civilization and society as we currently know it.
There's a lot of gaps too, in like they reckon, in time, where, yeah.
Yeah, well, archaeology isn't perfect, you know. I mean, the ability to carbon date something is obviously, you know, relies on the basis of a scientific process, which is well proven. You know, that taking into account radiation, which is a measurable process. You know, science is pretty good at it, you know, pretty good at that. But beyond that, you've got, you know, deep foundational occultic studies, people who place a lot of credence in these ideas. They will defend them to the death. Like, because, you know, as horrible, you know, as bad a rap as what, you know, occultism, as bad a rap as occultism gets, certain aspects of it, obviously deserve to come under that sort of scrutiny. But you know, usually at the surface level of occultism is where you find, you know, it's like a safeguard against, you know, those who aren't ready to take on certain ways of approaching thinking, of understanding. You know, acts as a nice safeguard to keep certain types of people at the surface level of it. But oh, Socrates, yes, he was.
Oh shit.
I see you too, I think is. Occultist and founder Theosophy Helena Blavatsky. Is that where I was? Yes, during the latter part of the 19th century, placed Lemuria in the system of her mystical religious doctrine. Claiming that this continent was the homeland of the human ancestors, whom she called Lemurians. Very interesting. The writings of Blavatsky had a significant impact on Western esotericism, popularizing the myth of Lemuria and its mystical inhabitants. Theories about Lemuria became untenable when, in the 1960s, the scientific community accepted Alfred Wegener's theory of continental drift. So, one of the well, that's it. That's it. Like, game over. You can't prove it. You know. Therefore, if you believe this, you're not allowed to believe this. It's pretty simple. Why can't I believe them both? Why can't I remain in a superpositional state of both and understand maybe a deeper philosophical context of, you know, what great thinkers and minds throughout history, like Socrates and like Plato and like, you know, like those minds were attempting
to think outside the box.
How dare you put me in a cave? How dare you? I am allowed to remain free in my allegories. All right. So, theories about Lemuria became untenable in the 60s. The scientific community, so continental drift became the foundation, the bedrock of conventional understanding. That continent, that, you know, they mapped out the continents. Everything seemed to fit. The puzzle pieces seemed to fit. All going back to continental drift, and, you know, the supercontinent became the common, on understanding of our origin. So presented in 1912, but the idea lived on in popular imagination, and that's what's so important to me, is that creative allowing. That's why I love conspiracy theories, even when you can, like, you know, they're like stories, they're modern day myth, they're modern day thinking, understanding, like they're like escapism in a sense from, like, you know, usually they're like they're horrible in nature, like conspiracy theorists, but they're, you know, like flat Earth, you know. And when you step into the realm of like taking something literally, like rather than just entertaining the notion, you know, that's why I love Atlantis. That's why I love, that's why I love ancient theology. That's why I love that stuff. Anything about the gods, anything about, you know, origins of man, origins of mankind, origins of humans, potentially life, you know, life beyond. Those are things that evoke so much in the imagination, that allow you to just drift along on that wavelength for a while, just to see where it goes, and then return.
Entertain the idea, yeah. See what you get from it.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Entertain a notion, and then you come back, and then maybe you learn something.
I can't believe the flat Earth thing. Me neither. No,
I can't
get down with that shit.
No, I can't get jiggy with it at all. But I'm like, it's funny to observe and to imagine it, to allow your mind to. It's like people once, you know, it's like Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's like, I know, you know, or do you? Well, you do.
Yeah,
but,
I was looking into like the firmament the other day. I worked out what the word was. Like the covers the firmament.
Right.
I was looking into that the other day.
It's clear. No, man, to go about the Anunnaki live you know, beneath the surface dwellers. You know, well, when you get into that and you get into
in the ground,
you can find allegory in it that ultimately gives you like a broader appreciation for like this duel of mind imagination. And when you know, when you can, that's the real myth of Atlantis to me. Bruce says, I do know, but it also, I love how it creates this like this dichotomy. It creates this you know, the believers and the non-believers. And it's very interesting what emerges from that debate. Yeah. See, one day that's it, and I will dedicate my life to proving that the Earth is flat. And then and then you ultimately go back like hundreds or thousands of years if you do any kind of research, and you realize, you know, the mathematics involved in predicting the curvature of the Earth was well founded.
They knew it back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they paid some fool
before
enough
before we even got out there and saw it for ourselves.
Yeah. Down, Carol.
Right, exactly. Global navigation before 600 BC is based on a spherical planet. Like the mathematics doesn't, you know, the math doesn't lie. But it's fun. It's fun. Air travel. That's right. Climate. Everything. Like is space time. Like it's all pretty. Yeah. It's all. Carol, are you okay?
Yep.
You okay? Okay. It's a false alarm. The dog didn't get her.
So yes, these ideas, you know, they live on, they transcend, you know, they transcend the sciences and allow us to go into a place of imagination. That to me is so much, you know, that's the true, that's the only thing we have to escape, you know, to escape it for a little while. So especially in relation to Theosophist tradition, evolution of the idea.
Lemuria was hypothesized as a land bridge, now sunken, which would account for certain discontinuities in biogeography.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. The idea has been rendered obsolete by modern theories of plate tectonics. Sunken continents such as Zealandia. It gives us this myth to like aspire towards. It gives us this thing to, you know, this unattainable but potentially ascertainable idea, and that is like, it's important as like, you know, as explorers. It's important to give us a goal to find, like so important. So the Lemurian thing because it was a gateway towards Atlantis. Yes. Landbridge, like, it's, you know, yeah. It's all along the same, it's all pointing at the same direction. The same mythos, which is there was an ancient origin point, maybe an advanced civilization that that once potentially reigned, that united the world. Now in Artifice Reanimate, I have heavily based. Sorry for the plug, but I've heavily based the the mechanics of the world in this realm.
Cultures based.
Cultures emerged from one singular, globally dominated civilization, which were condensed down and became their own cultures from the emergence of this global superpower, which and technology was lost. I love that sort of thing. I love myth. I love legend. I love building, world crafting. I love, they're all very important things to me to keep the mind sharp. So 1100 BC, the entire planet lost writing for some reason. Is that true? There you go.
I know there's massive gaps in our history too that they think we're a lot older than what previously thought. Right?
Well, they say let's go back 10,000 years and then realize that we've 200,000 years. There's 190,000 years that we've a missing piece of the puzzle there to. Yeah, and we don't even know for certain whether the origins of these potentially came much before, but we just make rough estimates based on carbon dating, based on well-educated guesses, and that kind of comes to define the foundation of society as we know it. Bam, there we go. Yeah, that is it's a pretty big deal. Yeah. Boom. Book of Enoch. The missing book of the Bible. All of that stuff is, foundational to, because of how much I enjoy that stuff. In the Indian, but no geological formation under the Indian or Pacific Ocean is known that could have served as a land bridge between the continents. The idea was later incorporated into the philosophy of Theosophy. Very interesting. We always have more, myth creates doctrine, and then doctrine is re-examined to challenge, to be challenged, which ultimately creates more speculative myth, which ultimately creates a navigation, a direction to go to test a hypothesis, which ultimately becomes fact. So or fiction, or false. But there is a very, whether you want to admit that, whether or not it's real or not, but there is an importance to, such an importance to myth, to legend, to imagination, all encompassed in that idea of what humanity does to strive towards achieving something more. It's so important, and something that we've become deeply disconnected with over the last century, we think we know it all. No room for imagination, no room for...
It's a dangerous stance to take, really. When you think you know everything. No.
Of certainty,
even
of absolute. You just close your mind off and you'll read the labels, you follow the directions, and you'll ultimately, and you'll arrive at the same roadblocks that we've been butting our head against for, I have heard a little bit about the Minoans. Yep. There we go. See, people, The 2 Bibles I have do not have the Book of Enoch. Yes, we could go into the Book of Enoch one time. Story of the Nephilim, story of the missing book of the Bible. As once again, that's one of those key things that like some people, they debate heavily that it's false, but ultimately when you get into that story, it just like it opens up, it opens up your mind so much more to just entertain it, to just entertain the idea, to suspend your disbelief for a little while and to just walk down that road of like, maybe, what if?
And the biblical stories have got a lot more value than just the story they tell. Like,
fundamentally, absolutely. There is an erosion of of that fabric occurring right now in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Mermaids. Yep. Cryptos. Yep. All of that stuff interests me. That's what I love about this deep dive section. So we just like suspend disbelief for a little while and go.
There was another city in China that was similar to that was supposed to be like really highly advanced, and then apparently it disappeared overnight. Like, but there's still remnants of it there. Like, but yeah, the people in
story of the Mayans, the story of it's. I love that. I love that stuff. Love it. There's these grandiose cultures that were, at the height of civilizational advancement, culturally across the planet, all pointing towards, and then poof, vanished.
Gone, yeah.
As if overnight. It's very important. So much myth throughout history where they're all pointing towards the same things.
See it if you look at over different places in the world and like the similarities in some of like these ancient structures. Like,
and these stories unify us. They unify us.
Yeah, they do.
Should be looking out there rather than, and in here as well though, so that's important too. Yeah, is that the Dogon tribe you're talking about there? Okay. Dagon maybe. Dagon. Ah. Yes. Oh, there you go. I'm not. That's interesting. I haven't heard that before. And ironically, funnily enough, Dagon means an affectionate name for a sergeant or warrant officer with smug ignorance of art, literature, or intellectual pursuits. You can never claim. I never claim that I know it all. But I have studied. Yeah, but I have, because of my fictional pursuits, because of I've devoted a large portion of time towards studying everything that I can within that realm. But there's always things that I don't know. But I like that. Kind of derived from, derivative of dragon, derivative of that's something that, dragons seem to be pervasive concepts throughout, isolated cultures within the global sphere. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. It's good to see, Kate. Yeah. Out of nowhere, you're like, bam, and then, yep. Those 33rd degrees, eh? Yeah. Good stuff. These are the deepest curiosities that, that drive us, that like they're harbored in the hearts of men and women, throughout the world. Pyramids weird, 3700 BC. They built them in Egypt. They say Myanmar and Siam and Mexico and Central America all, started building the same. That's what I mean. Pyramids, but even dragons is a pervasive. There are fundamental ideas that are so pervasive throughout. I wouldn't call it global culture because these cultures were disconnected at the time, they were isolated from one another, yet they still came up with the same conceptual ideas. I like one of like the modern mythos, the
almost archetypal in nature.
Right. They represented something profound in us that drove us. That was very useful to understand, to have knowledge of these ideas. They become, they become symbols. They become important symbolic ideas that sustain us, sustain cultures, sustain civilizations. Cool. So the idea of Lemuria was later incorporated into the philosophy of theosophy and has persisted as a theme in the pseudo-archaeology and discussions of lost lands. There is a vast fringe literature pertaining to Lemuria and to related concepts such as the Lemurian Fellowship. That's interesting. I haven't heard of that before. Lemurian Fellowship is a school of universal philosophy located on 60 acres in California. There you go. And you get institutions that prop up and they seek to maintain these ideas, not necessarily for to maintain the validity of them or the proof of them, but rather to maintain the thought experiment, to maintain this a shrine, a symbolic representation of, just to entertain the notion. You can look at religion in that way if you choose to, even if you don't have a belief in any kind of high power or any kind, but you look at the teachings and you look at the principles and you understand that throughout history these understandings have sort of been like foundational in the moving forward and the continuation of societies as we know them. That's the most important thing, to keep asking questions. That doctrine locks us off from challenging notions of any kind of notion. They set the parameters and the boundaries and the foundations of what you're allowed to think and what you're not allowed to think. Like what is right and not what is right and what is wrong, but just gives you a blinders to see things in a certain way. Because you lift those blinders off for a moment, and you start freeing up your mind to and then that freeing up of the mind can ultimately lead you to a place where you arrive at understanding. You arrive at a knowing, or like and it just allows great thinkers to keep pushing forward, keep charting a course into the unknown. Very passionate about this stuff. Very important to me. I'm always that did the Egyptian mathematician builders get fucking lost or what? Yeah. Indoctrination. It's as dangerous as it is.
That left turn at Albuquerque.
Right. But without foundation, you can't build upon it. So it's like I see the necessity to have like foundational in I guess like, not so much indoctrination in the idea where it's beaten into you and there is no other way but this, but it's more like no foundation. And then how can you build upon your foundation? How can you challenge, how can you further create on top of that, that foundation? How far can you challenge your concept of what the mind of God is? How far can you, before you arrive at a point where you're having your own internal battle with yourself at like, no, that can't be. That's not possible. Like, yeah. It's impossible. Yeah, see, there are dangerous aspects to it where you'll ultimately get forces that seek to enforce ideas that do not allow you outside of the boundaries. But there are. There are many faiths, there are many, and even science. Science is guilty of that as well. So, we now
more so
we
now
understand fundament. more so now than ever. What we understand that compromises as the fundamental sciences is ultimately theory upon theory upon theory to explain the fundamental theory. So, like hypothesis upon hypothesis to ultimately explain the this disconnected series of abstract equations that reflect reality, that seem to reflect reality at a disconjointed level, like where there's still aspects of reality that cannot be reconciled, like quantum mechanics and general relativity. Inconsolable. They cannot work together, but ultimately they go on to explain very fundamental layers, but we're still no closer to a grand unified theory. That's what it, and slowly but surely science is, it seeks to close in on that, but while it's attempting to close in on that ultimate idea, it's limiting its scope to be able to see outside of its the parameters that are set. And that's dangerous. It is dangerous. That's why I have respect for crackpots, like who think outside of the box, who think like the flat earthers who are just like, I see it as like this it's just this anti-establishment mentality where you're like, no, you won't tell me what to do, you won't tell me what to think. The earth is flat, and people who take it on as a joke and they entertain the notion. Some people do it, just for that rebellious, the rebellious nature and the troll nature of it. Some people take it deadly serious. Others just stand back and admire the phenomenon and can appreciate it from a distance. But yeah. Yeah, I say that too. I say learn all you can learn all you can while you're in the box, while you're in the cave, and then step out of the cave and see the sun. See the sun for yourself. Bush says math is never wrong, regardless of what society figures it out, except Sumer, ancient Sumer, Sumeria, Well, that's kind of the origin point of this scientifically accepted origin point of civilization, for sure. The guys that invented writing, right. I see what you're doing there, but see it's not that math is wrong. It's like the foundational theories that further mathematical abstractions are proven upon, when at the fundamental level there's an irreconcilable duality to nature that is still unexplainable. So while you're extrapolating on these fundamental equations that you've laid out the foundation which describe reality, you ultimately arrive at the point where you're like, it seems to be one or the other, when ultimately it's both. There's a discrepancy in the math at the foundational level. Yeah, because of base units, the way that we're very limited in the way that we don't even realize how trapped we are within our cultural, our cultural ways of doing things. It's like it's like metric as opposed to imperial. It's like there are, So have I have, and it's funny to watch, to be an observer, to sit back and chuckle at it, knowing that I stand at there've been people up, they've got to the point where it's like, look, we've seen enough to know. It's obvious.
Yeah.
But no, it's a holographic projection, and reality is really flat, and it's turtles all the way down. Yeah.
Fun, go through that much effort.
to rebel against the establishment. More fucking power to you, I say. But then that creates an environment of chaos. There is no order in that environment. We seek to deconstruct we seek to to align the entropy of the universe. We seek order. We seek the opposite of the very fundamental nature that the universe is built upon. If you believe in the laws of thermodynamics, that is. If you believe, if science won't inevitably come along and disprove it somehow. But but until then, it's like, well, that seems to work. That seems to be the model that works. But you can provide use cases and examples that come along and turn that on its head, and I'm sure there will be, moving into the future, especially as we get into we take our hands off the wheel with with vastly more intelligent AI to be able to perform these virtual experiments, to create simulated experiments that reflect the nature of reality. Ultimately, we're going to just prod further and further into the heart of reality itself. Yes, right. Right. Yes. Look at that. Look how far we got from the seed of the seed vault. Look how far we got.
Seed vault.
Come on, man. Go on, fucking, yeah. You right? You enjoying the ride?
I'm hanging on. Yeah.
Hanging on.
Strapped in. Excellent.
Buckled up.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I know. It's just a fundamental way to view the world, where we have this there is I don't know. That's why I like that's why I like base 10, because it's something, but it's only perceivable by where we are in culture, that it seems like the smart way to do it. Where you're like, that defines it to me, that that makes sense, yeah. Whereas you're like, what? Well, how does base 32 come into the equation? How did you arrive at a base 32 construct of numerical value? What? Yeah. It breaks my brain too. But I'm more I'm trying to get back to the origin of it. What defined it? Because to me, base 10, that defined it. That right there, the emergent property that the universe gave us to yeah. That's why it makes sense. But it's, again, these are only, these are constructs that become so foundational to us that we just take them for granted, where we're like, yeah. It just seems, yeah. But, and, because I'm into some, it's not like I can perform this abstract math, but it's no, there's fundamental math that I'm like, is so elegant to me. That is, yeah, zero, taking into account zero, but I'm no mathematician, but I am fascinated in it, believe me. But if to become a mathematician, I have to dedicate a very large portion of my life to you can understand it from an outside perspective, but it's just to get in there and perform those equations, to be like, yeah, no, I just, I prefer I'm happy with what I chose as my life path. This is a place where I let your geek fly. Let your geek fly. All right. So, do you want to learn? Are you still intrigued to see more about Lemuria, Manticore?
I'm listening, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So they all share a common belief that a continent existed in what is now either the Pacific Ocean or the Indian Ocean in ancient times, and claim that it became submerged as a result of a geological cataclysm. That's the commonality of the story. Right, there's, yeah, ancient civilization suffers major cataclysm, knowledge, information.
Into the sea.
Yeah, the head of the of the giant was cut off. and everything was lost because of that. And then we have, but if you get into those wacky Greek thinkers, and if you get into the you can see the allegories lining up very, very quickly, where there's a greater underlying appreciation for allegorical discussion, and the importance of myth in the continuation of society than we from pantheons to monotheism, polytheism. All of that stuff is so important to our quest to know. Flex me your big brains, yo. I small brain. So they all share a common belief that a continent existed in what is now either the Pacific or Indian Ocean in ancient times, and claim that it became submerged as a result of geological cataclysm. The Doom of Valyria. An important element of mythology of Lemuria is that it was the location of the emergence of a complex knowledge system that formed the basis for later beliefs.
The concept of Lemuria was discovered in detail by James Churchward, who referred to it as Mu.
What's this? Mu is a mythological, another one, lost continent introduced by Augustus Le Plongeon, who used the land of Mu as an alternative name for Atlantis. I did not know that. It was subsequently popularized as an alternative term for the hypothetical land of Lemuria. That's what I'm saying. There's always a connection there. It always tells the same story from different perspectives. And I love correlated ideas that are spread apart from disconnected sources spanning thousands of kilometers or miles. I love that shit. Fucking love it. I'm like, huh? What are they? How did they? What? Picked up on that Doom of Valyria, I see. Good stuff. Yes, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. You ever studied my man Thoth? Yeah. They're the great ones. The Halls of Amenti. Love it. Okay, says, come on, really? We have deep water submarines, and you can't tell me they haven't discovered anything. And if they had, and they would tell us if they had indeed found Atlantis if they had. Well, yeah. Well, you know what they say. That's the
they're holding out.
The commonly. That's the commonly accepted nomenclature, is it not? That we've only explored, 1% of the ocean in its entirety, and we'll never be able to get that point. Meanwhile, James Cameron's diving into his submarine and going to the bottom of the Mariana Trench in order to write Avatar. I love that. Ultimately, no, but who? Yeah, the question I would like to ask myself is, who are they? What is they? Who are they? Okay, I'm trying to have some fun here, guys. Trying to have some fun. I'm exploring my imagination. I get it. Bloody nerds and their doctrine and their indoctrination. Yeah.
You indoctrinated nerds.
Yes. Well, I'm all yeah. I like to remain in the boundaries of culture, but at the same time, I'm like shatter that preconceived idea, shatter it, and then put it back together and see if it's still yes. See if that frontier still makes sense. Explorers and shit. Fuck yeah. If it won't let me get to the final frontier, then there's still plenty to explore in here. Plenty to explore. All right. So Mu, I didn't know that. Mu. Don't know where the concept came from. Oh. Very interesting. And identified it as a lost continent in the Pacific Ocean. Churchward appropriated this name from Augustus Leplotte, who had used the concept of the land of Mu to refer to the the imaginary lost continent of Atlantis. And there's that key word. Those those Greeks were onto something, man. Studied them, tore them to pieces, learned about them inside out, learned about what their allegories mean, learned about what they were getting at the heart of, learned about their cultures, their foundations, spent a day in the mind. So Churchward's book included the lost continent of Mu, the motherland of men, the children of Mu, oh wow, the sacred symbols of Mu, cosmic forces of Mu, probably Mu, and the second book of cosmic forces of Mu. Oh, these, wow. Okay, wow. Wow. Well, it looks like I got some research to do then, don't I? The relationship between Lemuria and Mu and Atlantis are discussed in detail in the book Lost Continents, the Atlantis. Here we go. Lost Continent, the Atlantis theme in history, science, and literature. There's a study by L. Sprague de Camp, that provides a detailed examination of theories and speculations on Atlantis and other lost lands, including the scientific arguments against their existence. I always appreciate a contrarian. I do. You got to respect those contrarians. No, he was getting to the bottom of the Mariana Trench as a deep metaphor for, as a deep metaphor. He was to me, he was creating an allegory. He was saying, he was getting to the heart of Pandora, you know what I'm saying. Opening Pandora's box, if you will.
Whoops.
But he was on the wrong side of the planet. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was getting closer to the journey to the center of the Earth than I guess anyone really has dared to go. All of those. Yeah. There is so much more to fiction. So much more to fiction than yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. When I start talking about the abstract, higher dimensional potential of fiction, and yeah, that's my true curiosity is all of that high dimensional stuff. Pseudo-archaeological and New Age beliefs about Lemuria have been promoted in books by fringe author Frank Collin. Frank, who are you? Political activist and Midwest coordinator of the American Nazi Party. Oh. Later known as the National Socialist White People's Party, after being ousted, for being partially Jewish in 1970. Oh. Well. Who are you, Frank? I'm intrigued. Writing under the pen name Frank Joseph in books published by Inner Traditions, Bear and Company. Additional discussion of fantastic speculation about imaginary land of Lemuria are examples of Lemuria in popular culture. In 1864, what? The mammals are... Oh, so this is a... Yeah. No worries. Don't make me go into. Yeah, we won't go into into the land of Schrödinger. While we're trying to. Yeah. From a thought experiment perspective. So I was thinking. ... Atlantis. It's all connected, man. It's all connected. Something important there. You ever been there? You ever been to the makings of your own imagination? You ever seen that never-ending story for yourself? Turned around. All right, anyway, moving on. Postulation. In 1864, The Mammals of Madagascar by zoologist and biogeographer Philip Sclater. Appeared in the Quarterly Journal of Science. I'm not sure. Well, let me guess. You're just going to postulate that that it's all a bunch of bullshit, right?
Don't you postulate with me, mate?
Don't you postulate with me? Don't you postulate your posterior with me?
Fucking postulating and shit.
Yeah, right. No, we're here to have fun. We're not here to close the book on it for good. Come on. All right. Leave the book open. So how are you two doing, by the way?
Fantastic.
I don't feel good.
Are you okay?
No, I don't feel good.
What's wrong?
I want to go lay down.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't want to throw up. I'm fine. Just keep going. Keep going.
You sure? We can wrap it up. You don't want to.
No, you're having fun. Keep going.
We are at the 3 hour and 15-minute mark, and we can. We can if you're not feeling well.
That's up to you. I just don't feel very well. I'm sorry.
It's up to you.
No, you can keep going. I just don't know how much I can really add right now.
Okay. All right, we'll wrap it up. We should. Can't. Yeah, that would not be very nice. But so I'm digging this time slot. I am. People are sharp in the morning. And plus it is midnight here, but this is it's much more appropriate time slot for us as well. Yeah, I'm digging it.
I can do it. I'm not fussed.
Is the answer to the never-ending story. Believe that. Mm-hmm. Do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way? So, am I singing the harmony part or am I singing the... I don't... Yeah. Deep stuff. All encompassed within, all of these deep abstract ideas encompassed within
and
what
more. Within Artifice Reanimate.
Yeah, with what we're creating. Yeah.
Check it out. Links in the description below.
A continuation, if you will.
Join the Discord.
And up the next level of understanding in that potentially in those ideas. 3 universes. Hate to do the plug, but yeah, totally should. We've got Dylan turned in his first piece. everything is officially back on track for Artifice Reanimate. So excited to keep that train moving, to finally reach that end destination where we have the book in people's hands, the first iteration of 10 books to come from the realm from the world of Artifice Reanimate. Once we potentially accomplish our first book, we will be moving into Crossbones and Cosmoses, and then my final masterpiece, Beyond Ever After, is looking forward. Very happy, so glad for things to be back on track there. So if you the Artifice Reanimate is dystopian in nature, but it's complex, world building, crafted, and and until I get that book into people's hands, I don't want to spoil the journey that I want to take them on. So, yeah. If you want to come and jump into the Discord, come and say hello. We've always got interesting things happening in there. Remember to subscribe, like, all of that jam. Thank you all for joining us today. Appreciate you all. You guys have rocked it. You guys have rocked it. Appreciate it.
How was the chat?
All right. And get your nerd on. Good to see. And we'll be back in 2 days. Thursday. Appreciate you all. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Have a good one. Peace out.
Peace out.